Pete Dog.
Who's that other guy?
Man, that other guy randomly just appeared.
Man, don't start. You know what I was doing.
That
There's a
random
lot
guy
of-
just appeared. Shout out to Just Blaze who said it and told the truth. The boogeyman is back. Still is the boogeyman.
Hey, man, what's happening, fellas?
I knew he meant Dot, but still is the new boogeyman. Squishy, what's happening?
Always ready
Just
to boogie.
Blaze, Kelvin, what's happening? Yeah. Nah, Kelvin. Nah. It's funny because Wednesday, right after we finished the live stream, right? I realized, Pete, I'm like, yo, we got to talk about how did the party die? We was talking about, Dot's song and it's Watch the Party Die.
I'm ready. I was ready.
Right. And I'm like, nah, we gonna hold it to next week to talk about how the party died. No, I said we was gonna hold it till Friday to talk about how the party died.
Did you know the album was coming out today?
No, I did not. What's funny is I had just texted him on Wednesday because I'm like, hey, you should come on the live stream. Like I was like, I wanted to get him on the live stream for us to talk about like how when we was coming up in Los Angeles, you know what I mean, and making music, how influential the club was and how we used to be. So I hit Dot. I'm like, hey, feel me? Like, I want you to come on my live stream, right? And he didn't hit me back till today. He just started laughing. I was like, okay, I see what happened.
That nigga ain't gonna come on, man. You know he got a million people.
No, I don't think that. I know Dot'll come on. That's not even true. Like, he'll come on. I don't believe that for 2 seconds. The homie is not finna not come on. That's just crazy. That's just not real.
I think he got a lot of engagements too, bro. So I think Dot will definitely. I told me and 8 got into it about that a little bit. He said, man, Dot is too big. I said, man, I'm gonna tell you something. You don't know, dude. He will pop up.
Yeah, for sure.
And I said he probably be watching.
Yeah,
he
for
might
sure.
Be on here right now. For
sure. He the type of nigga that's gonna have a different login information and be watching. And this is what's crazy to me, right? This is what's crazy to me. Right? I am hypercritical on all my homeboys. I don't care if it's Chuck, if it's Game, you know what I'm saying? If it's Nip, if it's Dot, if it's Rock, if it's Problem. I am hypercritical on all my homeboys when it comes to music. I don't give nobody nothing extra. I told people I thought Mr. Morale and the Big Stepper sounded like cat scratching paper. I was like, I don't care if we can't be friends because I'm being honest about music and records. You feel me? Then we not friends. And I ain't never had that relationship. Huh?
Mm-hmm. You know my theory, G. If you somebody's friend, especially about your craft, you are supposed to be honest.
Yeah. So check it. So just like I can actually say I didn't like Good Kid, Mr. Morale and the Big Stepper, and I could be like, man, it sound like cat scratching paper. I could hear the therapy. Like, this my nigga. I love him. That don't change that. I have the highest expectations for his craft. He is a craftsman, no different than me, and maybe even greater. Like, it's that serious. So if I can't be honest with my homeboys, feel me, then they not my homeboys. So I always been honest. So it's crazy that he dropped the record, like I said, and like I said, I wanted to talk about how our experience was in LA partying and how it mattered to our music scene, right? That was an important conversation that I wanted to have. And fast forward, my nigga dropped his best album.
Yeah, it was his best work by far.
By far. And no, it don't always take 10 listens. It don't take that, because it really, if you notice, I know this shit. I gave my life to it. I gave my finances to it. Big bro, from 2011 to 2022, I went on a whole sabbatical and learning what this shit was about. I didn't even care about making money. You thought I was crazy. My big brother thought I was crazy. Feel me? Everybody thought I was crazy. I gave my all to learn this game. So trust me, when I hear it, I know it.
Yeah,
I know it. I played
definitely.
it when I saw it. I went through it. It's the truest representation. I think a lot of artists, including Dot and any artist, project who they want people to see and who they want to be, right? They set a standard above themselves and then they go there, right? And I think that's fantastic. But then there's the reality and the comfort of being who you are. And I think it took Dot to become a big homie for him to understand who he was. Like I swear to God, I used to genuinely think he would be like rejecting success, cuz I used to think he would be rejecting success. Like he would do stuff like, mind you, cuz the song with fucking ASAP Rocky,
I love Bad Bitch. That was his record,
bro. Like
that was his record.
You know what I mean? And as sophisticated and as great as To Pimp is, I love it, but it really is more of a sophistication in a jazz version of a record. And I remember seeing that and talking to him and being like, bro, you got to go win this shit. Like, nigga, everybody, you know, we've been trying to get to this spot, nigga. You got to win it, nigga. It's right here. And I remember Damn coming out and being so impressed with the sonics of it, right? Just really enjoying the sonics of Damn. Like, man, this album is sonically. Like, the thing about Good Kid and The Pimp, he understood how a story would connect an album. He knew how to talk his way and concept his way through an assortment of work. That's how when you first come in this game, if you're not a musician per se, you make music, especially as a thought leader. You feel me? Hold on one second. Y'all keep it going.
All right, you know the one thing about this album. First of all, what up, Pete?
What's happening?
Man, shoot, man, glad to be back, bro. Been out there running around like a chicken with my head cut off, man. But the thing I like about this album, like to reiterate what G said, is that it is the truest representation of the K-Dot that we know, and I like it because I don't give a fuck attitude. I'm not your friend. I'm not here to be friends with y'all attitude. I love it, man. That's what it's about.
I'm here to rule, bro. And so as I'm listening to the album, right, I'm listening to the simple connections. You feel me? The simple connections, the things that make an album float, right? I'm listening to that. I can hear it. Like, I know what it sounds like. I've listened to enough great records to know how it sounds, right? And I thought it was impressive. But when I'm listening to it, those are easy things to listen to. Oh, do it connect?
Now, G, I'm going to tell you always keep it real. I'm going to tell you the one thing that's going to grow certain people, because the average person that consumes music ain't really a music person necessarily. I'm talking about the whole theory behind certain beat selection. There's going to be some people that don't get certain songs.
Yeah, but that, listen. Here.
G, what's going on with you, man? You keep getting up. You good?
Yeah, Trap just came. Trap came to the spot. So I'm turning on the camera. Forgive me, y'all.
What? Like in real life?
Yeah, he popped up, cuz the homie popped up.
Shut up.
It's a good day to be on the coast, you feel me? So look.
Well, let's not overdo it.
Listen.
Put him on the thing. You set him up.
You setting it up right now.
Yeah, I'm setting him up. I should have set him up because he said he was gonna come. So feel me? Like, I get it. It's all plugged in, bro. Like, that's easy to plug in an album. It's easy to make a track list and flow at this level. Not at the beginning level, but at this level, that's expected for a flow of an album.
Well,
when you capture culture, when you capture sonics and you capture the story, the essence of something, that's what makes it great. That's why this album is better than Good Kid, Mad City. Good Kid, Mad City was great because that was the first time people heard a Dot at a mass level. And it was all plugged in. You know what I mean? He understood sonically, right? He understood sonically, not so much sonically, because I think he was still fresh to it at that point. He understood how to use the words and the concepts to make a story flow.
I'm going to tell you what was dope to me, man. I'm sorry to cut you off. I'm going to tell you what was real dope to me. When you talk about culture, man, him putting Derek Beretta on the one joint, the Murals record, dog. Yeah, that was crazy. I said because that was something he probably could have went and sampled or had somebody do it. But he, again, authenticity.
Hip hop is the business of we. I always tell you this, and we always disagree, because hip hop is the business of we. It's not the business of me. It's the culture of we. That's why this album is by far his best one. By far. One listen. It didn't even take me that much. It didn't even take me that much work to hear it. It's by far his best one. By far. Because he was able to capture culture, right? He was able to plug it in, and he was able to sonically hold it down. The sonics of it is so special. And one thing that I like the most about it is one thing I love the most about it was, bro, that dude was, you could tell this is the most confident in who he is to me. Like, I think he was really looking for himself on Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. I genuinely thought he was looking for himself. I could tell he had been going to therapy. I could hear it in the record.
Yeah, he sounded free, though. He sounded empty.
I could hear it in the record.
You know when you know how you hear artists, man, and they just sound empty. That he sounds empty. He sounds like he don't have no restrictions or chains on.
No,
he sounds free.
And shout out to my homie Trap in the building. Trap, you on camera in there. What's happening, Trap? Queens is in the West, baby.
Yeah, you know.
Hold up. So hold up. Mm-hmm. No Ceilings Live, the lunch hour. We already 15 minutes in, and we ain't even announced the show. Shout out to all the 700 people in here that get what's happening, that know what's happening. You feel me? I'm glad y'all here. No Ceilings Live, the lunch hour, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, noon Pacific Standard Time. Click that thumbs up button. Let everybody know you here. Share this link. Send it out to a couple people. Click the link in the description to the No Ceilings podcast. This might be my last year podcasting. Click the link. Subscribe to the podcast. You feel me? Go to Apple Music, wherever you get your podcast. No Ceilings. Executive produced by Charlamagne the God, Black Effect, and iHeart Network. So again, I wanted to bring Dot on the stream, and I sent him a message. Yeah. And I was like, yo, because my idea from Wednesday was like, I wanted to talk about how the party died. Like, I was like, I thought that was important. Huh? Send him a link. No, I just sent him the thing now to watch it. It's too late. It's too many of us now. He gotta wait another day. Yeah. The homie gotta wait another day. The players is in here today. So we gloating on Dot. Dot can't be on here while we gloating on him. That ain't player.
If the price is right, I could step out of my square for him. If he got to be better for the audience.
He would have to cash app you at least 1,000, but I don't want him to come today now. Shout out to Sharice, who already bought his lunch, $10. Sharice, I love you. We appreciate that. That's lunch for the day. Y'all can look in super chat. We eating lunch. Yeah. We eating lunch there. Y'all buying this lunch. K-Dot dropped the best album of his career. I am in here. Click the super chat. Hold up. We're not going to do that. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. We're not even going to play. Here come the haterism. No, it's not haterism. It's not haterism.
How we going to do that, bro?
It's the truth, Trap.
All right, it's the most West Coast album he ever dropped.
It's not about West Coast. That's just lazy.
That's what we're going to do right now?
No, hip-hop is where you from. So you can't say West Coast. That's like say Illmatic is Nas' most East Coast album. No, it's his best album. It's his best album. Exactly. So don't switch it up now. Oh man. Don't switch it up now. When Nas start making all the shit for all of us, y'all niggas was like, oh yeah, y'all weren't even feeling it. Y'all talk so bad, and you a Queens nigga. Yeah. Y'all talk so bad about the second Nas album.
Nah, not really though.
Yes, y'all did. In real time, you're damn live.
Yo, when he came out
because it didn't sound like Illmatic.
No, it wasn't. It was when he came out with a fucking pink suit on. We said, what the fuck is he doing right now?
Bro,
why the fuck he got a pink suit on, bro? No. You went from army fatigues and buckets on to wearing a pink suit, B.
No. That's like, true, but it also was the music, because y'all was hypercritical that it didn't sound like Illmatic. Yeah. It didn't sound overly New York. So when it starts sounding like other regions, don't say, oh, it sounds so West Coast. No, nigga, Illmatic sounds so East Coast. But that also is why you consider it hip-hop. Yeah. So again, being of your culture, is what hip hop is all about. And this album, he owned the space. I was just telling Steele, I genuinely think because him becoming a big homie is what he needed.
Yeah.
I think he spent so much time avoiding his destiny as the one.
Yeah.
And I think right now he's starting to understand how to carry it. He's like, if he decides to keep making music, he's going to be better than he ever was before.
Did you peep the Lil Wayne jab?
Yeah.
That wasn't even no Lil Wayne jab. That wasn't even, I don't even know why people even talking about that. That wasn't no jab.
It wasn't a diss, but it was a little, it was a little rib shot.
It wasn't even that.
No, it was something he should have said.
Yeah, it was the disappointment and somebody that dude who he patterned his style initially to the point where he had a project called C4 behind him. And I'm not mad at Wayne for saying he was disappointed for not getting the thing, but I do think is of, especially like a first ballot Hall of Famer like Tune, you got to still embrace. You still got to make the call and be like, I'm proud of you. Yeah. Even if you tell your fans, hey, I'm disappointed, you still got to pick up the phone because this is really one of your disciples. Like that is a Tune disciple because like the real deal too. His whole style was influenced by Wayne.
Yeah. Gee, listen to the bar. I used to bump the Carter 3. I held my Rolex chain proud. Irony, I think my hard work let Lil Wayne down.
Yes.
It wasn't a jab, dog. It was a little thump in the ear.
It wasn't none of that.
I don't think it was none of that.
Y'all got to stop doing that in hip hop where when I reference somebody and I explain how something hurt my feelings, I'm jabbing you. Now, y'all so goddamn messy.
Yeah. That wasn't a jab at all.
That wasn't no jab at all. And nobody should even be tweeting that.
Yeah.
Y'all horrible.
Ain't nothing wrong with thumping somebody here, dog.
But that's not what happened. Like, you don't have to make that the truth for that to be what it is.
It might not be the truth, but it sounds good, though.
So if you think that's a jab, you think that what he said for Snoop was a jab too?
That's my point.
No. You know what? It wasn't a jab, man. I think it was dope that he addressed it, though.
I mean, I don't even care if I don't find it dope he addressed it or dope that he didn't. If he did, I'll take it from an artist, right? But I'm saying none of this is a jab. None of this is a jab. He's not dissing any of these people. There's no disrespect. He's not even shooting at him. He's giving you how he felt. I think people genuinely would like to know how Cuz felt when the shit happened. Like, and he gave it to you, and then you taking it and making it a fucking jab. It's not. He just told you this is how I felt when these things happened. And he handled the legend's legacy with care. That's the right thing to do.
No, he did it right.
Yeah,
you know what I like about it? What you saying?
He got some slappers on there.
He do. I like that. I like that Heart 6. I like the fact that the Heart
he took it back. And he changed it up because remember,
remember
the Dead Owl put out a Heart 6, the last disc that was like hella like the when he resigned. What you call that, man? The Dead Owl. The Dead Owl put out, you feel me? Cause he put out all that. Feel me?
Yeah.
And he took it back making a song.
Made a song, a real song too.
That everybody's gonna play, that's gonna pass your little piece of shit disc where you tried to do that chicken shit.
Get it out of here.
I be so happy and proud of because y'all don't realize like the journey. And it's like, I love that he's owning where he's at. I like he put them young boy. I like he did that. Like, that's how you do it.
Who was the features though? Because they ain't named them on the album though. Who's the features that's on the song?
I know we got Peso on there. He got a couple dudes. I know we got J Hit on there. He got Hitter J on there. He got a few people.
People though.
Yeah, it's dope.
I don't know about this people putting albums out now and not putting the features on when they first come out though.
I think it's a way for you to go investigate. I don't mind that. Yeah, I kind of want to hear who certain people is. When I was over there with Snoop the other day and they was playing a record, it was a record. I was like, who the fuck is this nigga snapping?
Go find out.
It's Method Man.
Wow.
Yeah, Method Man be snapping.
Wow. But Dre mixed it. You know what I mean? Like Dre mixed it so motherfucking clean. You don't know it's Method Man.
Crazy.
And see, I'm always keep it real. The only small smidgen I got with this album, I ain't even gonna say it's a problem, but that TV off beat sound like a poor man's version of They Not Like Us.
No, I don't
Is it the
think
one
so.
Mustard did?
It's still the same thing.
You just being a fucking stickler.
I'm not, man. I didn't say it was bad. It's a dope song, but it sounds just like that. It's a little.
I'm not insulting you. I'm not insulting you. I'm saying you.
No, I didn't say that. No, I said I'm not insulting him. This is a brilliant album, dog. This is definitely a 5-mic album.
Shout out to Sharice. This album is sonically disgusting. It is.
Wow, Sharice.
It's by far his best album.
Hold on, G. I understand Sharice, though.
Like, it's fire.
Oh, it's good.
Probably, G, you got to understand something. You take a real pro-West Coast stance, and this is a West Coast sound album. Sharice is probably used to. She probably prefers some of.
She said it's good.
She said it's good.
Saying that in a complimentary fashion.
You see the fire emoji, so you got to catch it.
Okay.
Shout out to the old man.
Yeah, it wasn't disgusting like an infection that burns.
To me,
Like
disgusting means disgusting.
Shout out to Kelvin. I fuck with the album, the whole sentiment, the sound, all that. I just ain't ready to say it's better than Good Kid, Mad City, Section 80 to Pimp. It's better. It's better. Come on, trap. Like, y'all know. Like,
I gotta hear it again.
I've been hypercritical.
Nah, it's a fact.
I'm hypercritical. I don't give
nothing. That's why you feel like that about it, because this is what you wanted him to do.
It's not what I wanted.
Yes, you did.
No, I don't. Bro, I don't want
you influenced him to do this. You probably was over there. You got to rap on all West Coast stuff. I can hear you now.
Hip hop is street urban culture. I want every hip hop artist to own the culture. That's all I've ever wanted for all of us once I've realized what it was. I want to hear it. It made me go back and listen to Illmatic differently. Now I can appreciate it. I'm like, oh, I get it. He owned this shit. And then every dude, Biggie, everybody tried to do it behind it. And some of them had to kind of sell it out to cross over. You know, I had to hear what else was going on.
So let me ask you this thing, right? So do you think that this is the blueprint? I mean the blueprint to what people out here need to do in order to get heard to the
No.
Man, Dot is pulling with Dot to pull off. You know, I think Dot is so unique, man. I think that's almost unfair to somebody else to say that stuff is their blueprint.
Yeah. Shout out to the homie. Is this not your West Coast bias? No.
Yes.
I don't have a bias. When I listen,
like you call me New York bias, you are very West Coast bias.
I stand on my New York bias.
No, you supposed to be. It's not a bias. I am from California. I'm from Watson, nigga. I am from Compton and Watts. I grew up there my whole life.
That's why you can't hear that TVR beat song just like they're not like us, but with a violin.
No, I just don't care. That's ridiculous. I will start picking apart every last album in the history of hip hop and tell you how much shit sound the same.
It is dope, but it sounds the same, dog.
Yeah, but you're being a stickler for no reason when you don't have to.
I just see maybe
you should use it as much as you want to.
Whenever
you should use it as much as you want to. Keep using it. But the point
because it got a bunch of crip walking beats on there.
That's not why I like it. Everybody put out different music. I like all kind of stuff. Like, it's just lazy. Like, I like Juvenile 400 Degrees because it sounds like New Orleans. I like Blueprint because it sounds like New York. I like Bone Thugs and Harmony, feel me, because it sounds like Cleveland. Like, when you see it, Rick Ross in my top 5. Rick Ross is in my top 5 because his shit sound like Miami. That's what that shit's supposed to sound like.
You know what, though, dog? This album is incredible. This album is incredible, dog. I think the biggest thing.
Shout out to TPJ. Damn, it's his best G. No, it's not. This is better than Damn. And you know what makes this better than Damn? Because it's culturally exactly what it should be.
Again, the West Coast bias, culturally what it should be.
That's not a West Coast bias. That's just you're being intellectually dishonest. Every last region should have that sound.
It's a pushback against what we've talked about before, the homogenization of the genre, which is odd to me because, as like we've discussed, I would never have predicted that as it became easier to make beats locally, that beats would sound less locally made. But that's what happened. And this is a pushback against that, and Glasses likes that. I understand that. He has West Coast biases all over the place, but this is not that at this moment.
No. And I don't have a West Coast bias. Either is good or
And
not.
Chief, there's nothing wrong with your West Coast bias. You are from California.
I
You should have a West
I
Coast
don't
bias.
have a West Coast bias. I am from the West Coast, so I understand what's happening.
Man,
Hold on.
You know
Hold
what?
on.
Hey, G, hold on. Let me tell you something.
Hey.
These spam people been calling me a lot, right? And you know how I fuck with them now, dog? Watch this. Hello? Bueno?
Bro.
Bueno? See, they hang up on me. I'll be fucking these spam people up, dog. They call my phone. I say, bueno. The one guy say, sir, we have you. This is Norman Steele. And I said, yeah, this is him. How can I help you?
You should say S. Steele.
Yeah, he said Steele, Norman Steele. And I said,
If
yeah,
you're
this
gonna
is
say
him.
bueno, you gotta say S. Steele.
So what I did was this, G. I said, how can I help you? And he says, yes, I have he said, do you want, I have here that you have won a prize. I said, how much? He said, well, you have to pick. I said, I want $1 million. He said, well, you have to pay it back. And I said, well, how long do you have before you pay it back? And I said, I can pay it back in 2 weeks. I'm going to buy a new car and I ain't going to sell my car.
Bro, what is happening, bro? What you
I'll be tearing their ass up. Let's get back to the thing, dog.
Shout out to Polly Rob. Even the language of the song titles and slang he's using is in direct connection to his true culture. He put a damn Regal on the cover. Exactly. That's not a bias. I want my New York artists to sound like they're from New York. I want my New Orleans artists to sound like they're from New Orleans. I want my Memphis artists.
But you don't like Illmatic, dog. Nas did that. You don't like it.
Say now.
But again, that's it. I'm not supposed to understand it. I'm not from fucking New York. I'm not a penis rider acting like I get what's going on. I don't even know what he's talking about.
Good music is good music. It don't matter. You can know what's going on.
Hip hop ain't about good music. Stop saying that. I keep
you
telling
New Orleans was like that. You know the New Orleans. You know the Ghetto Boys.
I get mad at you when you do this because you are a army brat. You just transfer town to town, so you want to just make whatever you want to make. That ain't hip hop.
That is hip hop.
That's not. That's why when Tupac came down here, he made an album for LA. He understood the assignment. You didn't understand the assignment when you came here from Cleveland. You tried to hold on to your Cleveland roots. Well, move your ass back there and do collabs with Bone. But if you come down here and you get in the soil, your ass better represent.
It's because wherever I lay my head at, that's the land, baby. I'm out
So
here now where I'm at.
Like the locals. Because hip hop is about the locals. That's what hip hop is. You know what I like? L was like a Queens nigga. He didn't come out here and be like, yeah, cuz and bloods. And no, he was like, what's up, son? Kid B. That's what it's supposed to be.
Mm-hmm. Hey now, say now.
You don't get that still because
A$AP Rocky sounded like he was from Houston at first.
Who?
A$AP Rocky.
That's why it's not working.
No, he didn't. The sound.
He did everything he did.
That's also why A$AP Rocky don't have the career he should.
A$AP Rocky pretty big, bro.
No, A$AP Rocky as a brand is popular because he's a fashion guy, like a true New York nigga. He understands it. But his music career is not that because there is a disconnect culturally.
I ain't worrying about no music career. I got a $1 billion baby mama. I ain't worrying about no music career.
I'm not. It's not an insult to Rock.
It was ever since your hands went.
Yeah, it's not an insult to Rocky. I'm telling you, this is why it's not carrying. Look at the greatest artist from a region. Look at the greatest artist.
Gee, is it fair to say? I mean, in my opinion, and granted, there's a certain time component to this, as we've discussed before, where you know, early on enough, there wasn't regionally established sounds yet, but like Scarface honestly doesn't sound super Houston-y musically. He does sound kind of East Coast, but he's very early in the genre, so that sound hadn't been developed yet. Do you think that kind of hurt? Because he could and should probably be a much bigger, factor than he really is.
No, Face is huge.
I think Face is definitely used.
He's legendary, but he's not. He doesn't have the. You know what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying, but let me explain this to you. First off, shout out to Clip Wilson. Man, I appreciate everybody that's here. No Ceilings, the lunch hour. We are breaking records. We doing more people than we ever did, which is crazy right now. So that's dope. Yeah. It's perfect time for y'all to be here because we popping it. And my boy served with the best album of his career. I'm proud of him. Shout out to Clip Wilson. I'm from the East Coast, Harlem specifically, and love the fact that the West is standing on business and supporting their own. That's what hip hop is. This album is dope as shit. You're damn right, Clip. Shout out to Harlem, because that's what hip hop is. It is the business of we.
Yeah.
We. Back to your Scarface question, Pete. Scarface was really like, remember Scarface in the early 80s, NWA, Ghetto Boys. Hip hop didn't quite figure out what it was. You made the music
what I'm kind of
like
saying.
Sure, like the fathers of hip hop. You made it like New York. You tried to add where you special, but you kept it very much in the foundational sense. But listen,
and to be honest with you, G,
hold on. Scarface started to define himself. He brought the version of blues, and blues just ain't as popular as everything else. Funk is fun, jazz is jazzy, R&B is everybody's shit. Because Scarface kind of lives and resides in blues, it doesn't seem as popular, but trust me, Scarface is beloved by the hip hop, the whole country, with multiple platinum acts, spanning multiple platinum albums spanning over 10 years.
Mm-hmm. No, that's a fact. That's a fact. I never thought about that. That he's like part of the blues type of sound that came into the hip hop. That's a fact, though.
Yeah, he orchestrated it. Yeah. You know what I mean? That's what the South brought.
And
Trap
is
a
bass player too.
Yeah,
right?
Trap. He played guitar.
Bass player, piano player, guitar, everything. Yeah. Is a musician. The one thing I want to say about Face G is when he dropped "The World Is Yours," between the Mr. Scarface's back and "The World Is Yours," you can see the experimentation of his sound. He kind of was going from the funk to the blues, kind of going back and forth. You know what I mean? He had a lot of funk in there too, right?
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of flips from Bootsy and them. A lot of Bootsy flips and stuff like that. Then he kind of found his lane with the blues. All Brad is a pastor, dog.
Yeah,
a Southern pastor like Martin Luther King.
Southern pastor, bro.
But you know what? It don't make me Houston biased because I appreciate the Southern roots, the Baptist style about his style. That's what's he delivers it. You know what I mean? And that's what's important about this album, GNX. Even the car is a $200,000 Regal, like the homie just said. Like that's culture. Like that's what you're supposed to do. Somebody asked me, did I think this created a blueprint? No. This is what you're supposed to do in hip hop.
I just asked you that.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, but this is what you're supposed to do in hip hop. This blueprint already been established. Now y'all seeing Dot do it. Y'all been watching Dot do things based off of where his shit was at, where things was working at. Now you're seeing him own the status that he is out west as primarily a thought leader. Mm-hmm. And he's owning the space.
This album definitely put him in that. He was already there, bro, but this album definitely, man, and it could be debated a little bit. This put him up there with like whole status, bro. This album put him up there with the greats, bro. Like he's up there now. Like you gotta knock that pantheon.
I'm not gonna say he bumps out my guys in the top 5, but I'm about to argue he might start bumping some guys out that top 10.
No, it might be. I think he's up there. G. He's up there right now.
Now I gotta look at the Cube a little bit different.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He might have knocked Cube off his throne, dog.
I'm gonna take my time. Shout out to Cube who just dropped the dope album today too. I gotta
check that out.
Yeah, we gotta get into it. We gotta do that.
And that's not. Let me verify this. Let me clarify something. That's not a knock against Cube. It's more so shining the spotlight on Dot's growth and greatness, right? It's because you got to debate that now because for the longest it was undebatable, dog. Ice Cube, Snoop Dogg, Ice Cube, Snoop Dogg,
40 Short.
40 and Short. It's like that was like right there. Somebody got to move a little bit, or we may just have to make an additional spot up there for him.
No Ceilings Live, the lunch hour. Every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, noon Pacific Standard Time. We right here doing a thing. Click the thumbs up button. Let everybody know you here. Share it. Let other people go. We breaking numbers today on YouTube. We finally getting this thing rolling. Feel me? Shout out to Dot for dropping this thing that got us going. It is incredible. It is his best album. It took me one listen to figure it out because I fuck with the music. Y'all will figure it out later, but y'all gonna come to it. Click the link in the description. Subscribe to the No Ceilings podcast. That's why we do this, to promote No Ceilings, the podcast. Go over, to Apple Podcasts or anywhere you get your podcast. Subscribe to No Ceilings, executive produced by Charlemagne the God, the Black Effect Network, and iHeart. At a point, most top rap artists stop making music for the region. On the upside of the ladder, no argument, just observation. Shout out to whoever this is. His name is a Dot, but he's making incredible points. That is true because culturally,
is that anonymously Dot?
Maybe. Could be. Just don't know, right? But to be honest, yes, I agree. But what happens is because your life changes and you ascend into a pop iconic status if you're successful. The more successful you are, you ascend into popular status. So yes, you eventually start to shed culture. But the very greatest hip hop artists don't shed culture. Like I went to Snoop's compound and he played me Missionary. Dre is really clean. Now Dre cleaned up his production. It ain't funky at all. It very much has a hip hop, but like a pop feel.
Okay.
Even though it's still hard, it's clean. It's really scrubbed. He scrubbed it. I'm not necessarily the greatest fan of him over scrubbing it, but it's Dr. Dre. And what the hell I'm gonna tell him? But you don't clean Snoop up.
Yeah.
Snoop is Snoop Dogg. Jay-Z is Jay-Z. When they start talking, all the Brooklyn is gonna bleed out of him. When Nas start talking, all the Queens is gonna bleed out of him. When Scarface talk on that mic, all of Houston is gonna bleed out of him. When Bun talk, all of PA is gonna bleed out of him. And that's the thing about hip hop. It's supposed to stain you. You're supposed to be permanently stained. You are, if you are truly the culture.
Hey, G, let me ask you a question. Since you was at the Snoop since you got to hear the album with them, is the song he had with Jhené Aiko, is that on the final track list?
Yeah, and it makes sense when you hear it.
That song is dope, dog. You know me, I like R&B. That record was really dope, dog.
It's crazy to hear it by itself from a Snoop record, you know what I mean? But when you hear it with the collaboration of songs, it makes perfect sense.
Yeah,
they did their stuff. They did their stuff on that.
And we got to give props to the homeboy, man. Rest in peace to our dog. You know, contemporary rap. And you Twan, rest in peace, Twan. You starting to see a lot of that manifest now. Like when I heard that record, G, you remember the time you was coming to the studio with me, you told me that it sounded like I was making R&B?
Yeah.
I think you just get to that place, the more musical you get when you get older, dog, you ain't got to start rapping, but you definitely kind of just a natural progression.
But you got to back up, in my opinion. You have to back up, in my opinion.
Not really, dog.
Yes. No, I'm not. Listen, in 2025, I made sure that I was going to take my rightful place as Führer of hip hop. Because if I let y'all have an opinion, y'all go too damn far. Back up. No.
She is too hard for a 50-year-old man to be talking about up there shooting niggas and
I'm not, you know, that's not what being the culture is, shooting people. Everybody around the world shoot people. It don't have nothing to do with culture. Culture is how we talk. You never get too old for slang. You never get too old for the way we dress. You never get too old for that. Shooting don't got nothing to do with the culture. That don't have nothing to do with hip hop.
You want Snoop just to continue cripping on records. As long as he did that, he was cool, huh?
He's a crip.
He cripping in T-Mobile.
What do you mean? He's cripping on the fucking Super Bowl and at the Olympics. Why the fuck would he not?
Yeah, you don't grow up. You don't want to do nothing different, huh?
Do you ever get too old to represent your family and your community? No. And if you got ashamed, you was never proud to be from it in the first place.
But I'm just saying, dog.
It ain't got to be looked upon like he ain't got to represent it towards a certain way, though. Know what I'm saying?
He ain't going to put in work on other gangs.
That's it.
But he is showing people.
Using the slang still.
Yes, he's showing people what a Crip can become. He's the reason that my next 5 and 6, 7 years is going to be a little easier because they did business with Snoop as a Crip and he didn't let them down. So he's going to make the journey for the next Crip a lot easier than ever before. Shout out to Atlanta Bird Gang. Dot been a Lil Wayne stan for years, and he has admitted that. A true Lil Wayne stan. The realest deal. He loved Tune. Yeah. So I know that hurt his feeling, but again, he didn't diss him. He just explained how he felt about it.
What is the I don't know. What does the GNX stand for?
The GNX is a specific Regal. Okay. It's so in California, G bodies, Regals, Cutlasses, El Caminos, like my song. Which is crazy, right? Cutlasses, there's a specific years of cars, roughly from 79 to 87, 88. They're called G bodies. That's a real LA thing at my age group. We started it.
Right.
And that became our thing. Now, the GNX is a Buick Regal, right? But it's a souped up version of it from the factory. They have a version called the Grand National. You heard of a Grand National?
Yeah.
All black one. Larry June had a whole album dedicated to the Grand National. Well, this is one of even souped up more version of a Grand National. So there's the Regal, right? At the standard level, 87, right? Then there's the Grand National, which is a souped up version of the Regal. And then there's the 547 GNX version, which is a souped up version of a Grand National. It's a $200,000 car.
Okay. I see what he did.
It's the pinnacle
That's crazy.
of Los Angeles young street life.
That's crazy.
If
That's
you nobody even has that car because it's such an expensive car to have now.
Yeah.
Like back when I was growing up, it was a $40,000 car. Though it never lost value.
Now it's rare now.
It's 547, and he talking shit because he got the number one. So
That's
you
dope.
get what I'm saying? Like
That's dope.
that's the
That's his
cultural,
whip on there,
huh?
That's his whip on there, huh?
Yes, it is, and that's what he
That's
and that's a
crazy.
flex.
That's flex.
And this is what I'm saying when people don't get what I'm looking at. I'm not just listen.
You know what you told me when he got that car?
Yes. Shout out to David Jones. Thank you for the $10. That's super dope for the lunch. We appreciate that, man. Shout out to everybody who hitting them super chats up. Again, that's at the bottom right of the comments if you're on YouTube. The line about letting Wayne down. Oh, just to pose with Coles, let Nas down is hilarious. I'd rather let Wayne down. You stupid, Dave. Shout out to Dave.
Dave said that?
Yeah, David Jones. David Jones. Shout out to David Jones. That's you stupid, bro. But I didn't like the Cole one. The Cole one was a bit weird and corny to me.
Let Nas down?
Yeah, I didn't
I
like
like that, Drake.
I didn't like it.
I like that right there.
Shout out to Bella Mac for the $50. I love you.
Let's
Thank
go.
you. That's
Thank
a good
you.
lunch. We eating good.
Let's go.
Oh,
You know me? Bella
Find
came
some
through.
good out here to eat in LA.
Hey.
how's that?
So listen, I am so proud. I'm so proud. And again, we initially started to talk about how the party died in LA. And I wanted to associate why West Coast hip hop was struggling. West Coast hip hop, the majority of it is built on funk. Funk is the ultimate party music. People party hard to funk, whether it's James Brown, Parliament, funk, just as we move through the stages of funk, all the way up to G-Funk. It's been the party. So our records had the benefit of this great weather and the opportunity to always have parties.
Yeah.
We've always had that. And that's what moved the records, right? But what killed partying on the West Coast, right, was bottle service.
Oh, yeah. I said
As we adopted bottle service as a true identity of the club, and it became more or less about not meeting women and having a good time and dancing and just getting women easier, just flexing money. Guess what? You killed people dancing.
Party. Yeah.
That's why. So yeah, exactly. That's why our music don't have ways to actually spread. Like Problem is dropping a bunch of great records. Problem dropped, but there is no party scene to move it. Shout out to Mark Nash. Shout out to AD. They dropped a project called House of Wagons. Amazing project. Great songs to have fun and party to. But we don't have a party scene to spread the music. And West Coast music has been built on funk. So without the party scene that's moving hard, you don't really have a way to make the music and everybody get familiar with it to build up the story for radio to become your mass promoter. And that's why.
So I went to the show the other night with Nico, and I seen a lot of different LA artists. They was mostly there. But one thing I caught though was that I see the I'm not gonna say copy, but the influence that that the younger youth is getting from Larry June right now.
Yeah.
Like it's a heavy, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. Would you cater him as being the first one that like is that his sound right there?
No, that's he makes mob music.
Okay.
It's like that's what the Bay Area is known for.
Okay.
But again, that's always gonna work. Like Dom Kennedy.
Yeah.
That's like kickback music.
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
very,
exactly.
You know, you play it amongst the select friends. It's not full out a party groove where you playing at the mix of a party, but if it's at a kickback at a gathering. Again, hip hop, like we talked about this, hip hop is a party.
Yeah, definitely.
It is a bunch of people coming together to have a good time. Poor people making it work, right? They're taking the break and like, I'm gonna make this work, and everybody dancing and having a great time. So even at the lowest levels, like a kickback, where it's not as festive as a huge party, but it is a bunch of people just socially gathering. You know what I'm saying, to have a great time. Yeah,
lyrics is hard.
They said it.
Yeah, but it was I seen it was about 3 artists that was like, yo, hold on, is this the way that the Cali on? Like they copy. I don't want to say copying, but influenced by it though. Know what I'm saying? I like it though. Know what I'm saying? I like it.
But Travis, you notice, like going back to something you said earlier, G, that early hip hop was a little, the only template for it was from the East Coast. NWA had a lot of Treacherous 3 in them. Had a whole lot of Treacherous 3 in them. The whole going back and forth and rapping together and stuff, the routines and stuff like that. They had a lot of New York routines and they stuff, but it was very much just West Coast lyrics on it,
Shout out to Super Jedi. I'm from the Midwest. This shit is fire. Has nothing to do with West Coast bias. A true West Coast guy.
Is it the best though?
Like
Kendrick's best
by
album,
far. By far.
Yeah, I would say it's Dot's best album. This album is dope, man.
I listen to every by far.
Better than Good Kid, man.
Really dope, man.
I'm gonna tell you where it beats Good Kid. It beats Good Kid in Sonics.
Because it's a West. I don't know why you doing this though, B.
But it's not because it's West.
Yes, it is.
It's not. It's not.
The Resurrection, tough song.
Every song is dope.
Resurrection was who was the artist he was talking about though? Who's the first artist? The Resurrection was the one where he basically was described the male artist that was from Michigan, played the guitar.
I'm gonna listen to it twice. We're gonna double back and have that.
Yeah, we gotta do that.
To break it down, because the breakdown is more ADHD thing.
Yeah, that's definitely.
So we got to get into it. But it's more to that to me. It's not because it's West Coast. If it was Juvenile getting with Manny Fresh, it would. Like if it's right, it's not because it's West Coast. It's because it's culturally true.
To the West Coast culture.
Because he is from Compton.
Yeah, it's supposed to sound like that.
God damn.
And you are supposed to say it's the best album too, because it's a West Coast sounding album.
But every West Coast album don't sound good.
I think the point he's kind of get is like when you dial it in and you localize it more, you get it becomes there's more cultural parts per million, to the solution, and opposed to doing something that's more naturally branded, it gets a little bit diluted. You don't get as much culture for your minute.
Especially in a time when we don't have everything about hip hop is pasteurized and homogenized, which really is not hip hop at all. Because if it starts being this thing that everybody can do, we stop being special.
That's a fact.
So yes, I'm going to praise a record that sounds like culturally correct. It's why we like Larry June. That's not some sound he made up. That is a version of mob music. That's a Bay Area funk.
Oh, no.
Like a quick question. Like Dre did, at least to some degree, like the first 50 album, right?
Yeah.
So, Diamond, monster album. Not necessarily saturated with Queens quite so much. More of a natural landscape, generic, mega hip hop album.
He definitely did small things, like the tempos were just a little slower than the West would be. He had some because,
there was some. I'm not saying it was
LA ain't that far apart. Like when New York gets really New York is when they get hella jazzy. That's their pride and joy. The jazz breaks. You know what I mean? But they do got as much funk. They got as much R&B as everybody else in the world.
A lot of the big albums were a deviation,
But I do agree with you that it's time to hear 50 Cent with a Queens producer. It's time to hear, if 50 wanted to make a new album, I would love to hear Havoc make music for him.
Yeah.
That would be special. Shout out to O-Dog, Only Driven on Greatness. I like how you flipped that. That's player, bro. Glasses, what are your favorite songs off the album so far? Whacked Out Murals, obviously Squabble Up, Reincarnated, TV Off, Dodger Blue, Peekaboo, Heart 6,
The whole album.
No, I named a specific song.
What song did you name though? Just now?
I did name Gloria. I like it. I did name Hey Now.
Hey Now, Say Now.
It's a good song.
Hey Now, Say
The
Now.
Luther song is dope.
Luther song is crazy.
Yeah, but I didn't name it because it's not one of my favorites, but it is an incredible song. And you know what I appreciate? To me, because I know Dot has been projecting, he's trying to ascend to his greatest self. So he's projecting it out there and then he's pursuing it. But when you hear it musically, in my opinion, right, you can hear things are forced and they're not as smooth. Songs like Rich Spirit, where I feel like the hook could have been a little bit more tight, but he's projecting his greatest self internally, and then he's pursuing it. This is Dot straight up, accepting who he is, owning it, and every last hook comes across perfect.
Yo, bro,
I mean it that deep, bro. Like they should have never gave it to me.
Listen,
they should have never saved my life.
The fact that I know that this is what you wanted since you heard Mr. Morale.
Sure.
This is what you told him. You told him that. You know what I'm saying? And then like to get it, I can see why you're. You know what I'm saying? You accepting the album the way you are and you loving the album the way you are because this is what you wanted to hear from him. Though. I'm gonna say this right here. It must be somewhere because when Euphoria dropped, I was in LA. When this dropped right now, I was in LA.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, like,
and that's a great point. Euphoria is not a standard West Coast, but I love it.
Yeah.
So I do love what Dot naturally does and gravitate. I mean, I like Good Kid, Mad City.
Yeah.
I am appreciative of his understanding of every level of hip hop, and I don't want to discredit Soundwave creating a sound that made TDE successful. But I love to hear when because again, there is no West Coast sound today to a degree. Like Mustard's sound is the closest, but he made something that felt compelling, like culturally it fit. Shout out to Sharice, another $2. Man, that's sure gonna get us some sauce. TV off on Super Bowl stage is going, that's gonna be crazy.
Gonna be so
that's gonna be crazy. Man.
So how many of these songs you think gonna be played at the Super Bowl stage? You feel like?
Well, it's only like 20 minutes, so he can't do too much.
No, I mean like because he got to play old songs too. So I mean, I'm trying to think of any arena sounding songs that came. The first song was arena sounding song. I feel like.
Shout out to Lifted. I like it more than Damn at the moment. It's better than Damn. Shout out to All In. Good Kid, Mad City is Kendrick's magnus opus. Even if you think this album is better, way too early to judge. Not true.
Thank you.
Not at this level. At this level, I know too much about records and hip hop.
I got the question for you.
Sure, to have to pursue that thought. I know when it's better because I listened to both albums. It's better by far.
Is it a classic?
Now that's different. Now I didn't say that.
I think we got some of this stuff. We gonna have to wait and see, man. I think
that's
we really don't know.
Because I'm keeping it real. I'm not. Yeah, I'm not finna jump up and say a classic is different.
Okay.
But it's some artists like The Fix is Scarface classic, but Untouchable is better than The Fix.
Yeah, I get you.
Classic is about how public receive it. We talked about this. How the public receive it. Not if it's a great album or if it's like, does it time and space open up for it to be as great as possible? Do the world need it? Do the world need GNX? I don't know. That's what creates a classic. You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna say on that though.
We'll see. You know what I'm saying? We'll see what happens.
West Coast need it.
Well, I think whatever great artists do for hip hop, I needed Blueprint.
Yeah.
I needed 400 Degrees.
Yeah.
I needed, you know what I mean? Like I needed the first Bone album. You know what I mean? I needed Ye, College Dropout. You need great albums to inspire culture to keep moving forward and figuring it out.
I think classic albums also got to shift culture though too, and I feel like this could possibly do that though. You know what I'm saying it could bring it to the eyes. Like they was like people were saying yo, the pop out didn't do nothing for the West. Like they were saying shit like that. I think this album right here could possibly, you know what I'm saying, it's gonna put it onto y'all, you know what I'm saying, onto the West Coast. You know what I'm saying? Like when we listen to your album, like the what's the name? Like the
Cancel These Nuts. Yeah.
West Coast sounding album right there. You know what I'm saying?
But again, like you just make the pace of life. Like a lot of times we just lazily reference something as like something sounding or West Coast sounding. But no, like really the only true sound that ever came from the West Coast purely is like Sunshine Pop. Funk is not necessarily a Los Angeles thing. Like we didn't get into funk till late in the game. Like who was our first big funk group? The Whispers?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's in the 80s when they went funk. So it's like Barry White made like a kind of a pop, pop disco type of thing, R&B. You know what I'm saying? So we was late in the funk game. G-Funk defines our funk for the most part. So it's not about our sound. It's when the music fits the pace of life and you have enough grit on it to make it feel like hip hop. Hip hop is all about being dirty. That's why RZA is one of the greatest ever because it's dirty.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Kelvin. Shout out to Kelvin. I think I get what G is saying. It's his best work because he is now pioneering and pushing the West Coast sound culture. The context is important when calling it his best work. That's why it's not. That's why because of these reasons. It's because the way it sounds is his best work. That's why it sounds the way it sounds. It's his best work.
To their opinion, though, bro.
No, I don't. You got to stop thinking you got to leave people to their opinion.
They do have a right to have an opinion. You getting mad at people because they say it ain't his best work.
Yeah, I'm not
banning them from having an opinion. It's just
I'm not
correcting it.
Damn.
We're grading their opinion.
It ain't you ain't being a good person. You're
Uh-huh.
not being a good person because you let sheep go where they want to go. It actually makes
they
you
have a right. They have a right. They know what the pieces of their ear though. And
no, they don't. No, they don't. That's not their profession. No, they don't.
It's just like you telling me how to eat my steak.
Because if
how you eat your steak, still?
Well done.
No, I don't eat my steak well done. No, I don't.
Do
I
with
eat my
ketchup.
steak. I eat my
This
steak.
guy
No,
will
I
go to
don't
the
eat
nicest
steak.
steakhouse in
One
the
thing
country
y'all
and
not
order
gonna do
well
is lie on
done
me. I ain't
with
never ate no steak with no
well
damn ketchup.
done, burn
Yes,
it.
you do.
No steak well done. I eat my
Every
steak medium
single
well,
weekend.
bro. I eat my steak medium to medium well, bro. I don't want my
Well
steak
done
with
with
a
ketchup.
bunch
You're
of blood.
embarrassing.
No,
That's not
people,
blood.
stop
You're like a little
lying.
kid. I already explained to you it's not no blood. Stop saying that.
I don't care what it is, but I don't like my steak
So
like you
stop
like
saying
it. They
you
don't
don't
make me
care.
wrong.
Stop, listen.
The
Don't
only
be
red he
loud
wants
and
near his
wrong
steak is
just for the
ketchup.
sake of it. This is the problem when we
It's not
give
right,
you
sir.
an opinion because you start saying
Medium well to medium is okay with me. I like that. I don't like my
we're
steak
not
well.
asking you what you think or what's up. I'm telling you how to do it because you obviously are too chicken shit to understand how to do it.
I've tried it that way. I've tried it
No, you
rare
have
and all
not.
that. I don't like it. I
No,
do
you
not
have
like
not
it. I
tried
tried
it
it
that way.
rare.
No,
I do
you
not like
haven't
it.
because if you
I
have
like
taste
my
buds,
steak
you would
medium
like it
well.
that
I
way.
like it medium well. I do a little bit of well, but I have a little bit of pink in it, but I don't want my steak all pink. I don't like that.
You never tasted it. You staring at it.
I have tasted it before.
No, you
I've
haven't.
had steaks. I've had $1,000 steaks before.
And every
I've
time
said
you had a
the
well
finest
done,
steak.
well done.
I've had $1,000 steaks before. I've had steaks with gold on it, bro.
$1,000 well done steak.
Exactly, wasting his money on that steak.
Money. You wasted your money.
I had steaks with gold on it, bro. And I'm gonna tell you this: if I'm gonna spend that much money on a steak, I'm gonna get that mother sucker the way I want it, not the way glass. When I buy you one, I'm gonna say, "Gee, Gil, I'm not."
I would never go nowhere. You would not embarrass me in front of the chef with your color ways.
If it was wrong, they wouldn't allow it. It wouldn't
That's
exist.
exactly
That's
right.
why they have different things. That's why
I'm
they have
not eating no steak with you. I'm not going nowhere where they serve steak. You not finna embarrass me.
Let me talk. That's why they have rare. That's why they have medium well, and well done, because people have choices. If it wasn't a palatable choice, it would just be like, okay, rare. You wouldn't have a choice of like chicken. You order chicken, you can't order a piece of medium well chicken. Chicken is just what it is.
About? That's the problem. Yes, you can. They don't call it that because they know you country ass people don't know how to eat your food.
Trap, help me out here. Can you eat chicken, medium well chicken, bro? Have you heard of that?
No, never had medium well chicken.
No, they don't have that as an offer, but they have to overcook chicken for people like you because you staring at the food versus tasting.
Overcooking, bro. You get sick, you can die if you eat raw chicken.
Stop saying you ain't never even met nobody with salmonella in your life. You never even seen it. You saw it on the news. Your mom saw it. You've been saying that shit since.
You can't eat medium well chicken, bro.
Stop saying. Do you understand it?
If you cook a chicken that got blood on the bone, dog, it's bad for you. You throw that shit away.
It's not even true, and it's not blood.
Yourself.
Listen, the correct temperature to cook chicken is to 165. Black people cook
talking about temperature, bro. Your temperature. What if your temperature?
Let me make my point.
He means the internal temperature, not the external.
Internal temperature is 165. That's safe. It's when you get the chicken at its most moist and flavorful. You cook the damn flavor out the chicken, which is why you gotta over season it.
No, you don't, bro. I bet you my
chicken. Me and your brother told you this.
Man, I eat my steaks medium and medium well. Gee, you like your
steaks medium well and well done.
Anything.
No, Gee, you can't. How the hell you gonna tell me how I eat my steaks? I'm 54 years old.
I'm not going nowhere with you to find out.
I know how I eat and what I eat. I ain't gotta lie to you.
I bet you I'd never take you to no steakhouse. You won't let me waste my money.
You ain't gotta take me to no steakhouse. I'm gonna go in and get my stuff out.
Well done. Well done.
Medium well. I don't eat my steak well done. I've never had a well done steak, bro.
Yes,
no, I haven't. On my mama, I've never had a well done steak. That's messed
Shout
up.
out to Davion Goins. Shout out to my little cousin Davion Goins for the $5 lunch hour. We eating good up in here.
Getting a well done steak.
Dot, ironically, bringing the West Coast party back, which was lacking. This is 100% his best album. This got the audacity we needed from Dot as well. That's another thing this album had.
What's that?
He had audacity in another album.
I never had no well done steak.
This album is rushing of audacity. It's bleeding of audacity.
Yeah.
It's the nerve of this nigga to say that.
It's, you know why it's bleeding? Because it's not overly cooked.
Like the audacity of somebody telling people to eat raw chicken.
You like a little kid. I'm not going to talk to you about this.
Man, there ain't nothing to talk about, bro. I've never had a well-done steak in my life. I was at my 5. I don't eat no well-done steak.
I'm not talking to you about...
I think you have.
Yes, still. Because you first off,
you don't know what I've eaten, Trap. How you going to sit here and tell me I think you have had a well-done steak?
You are like a well-done steak.
He's about he don't want no blood. So you know you ain't eating no medium.
I eat my steaks medium well to well, dog. That is
well done.
What the fuck did we just say?
I said medium well to well. I said medium well to
so you go medium well to
medium.
well, but you never had one well done. What's well then?
Medium to medium well. I've never had well done steak on my mama.
You said medium well to
well.
I
eat my steak medium. I just made a mistake. I eat my steak medium well.
No, you don't.
Fully cooked. Chief, are you with me 24 hours a day? I hate when you tell me what I do. Like you just sit there watching me what I do. Y'all don't know what I do.
Still, you've been my big brother for 20 years.
I eat my steaks medium well, dog. I like them medium well. There's nothing wrong with that. Why is it an option? Why do they have it as an option?
Because they know black people coming in there.
They want money.
Everybody.
Because they want money.
No, y'all just them assholes that want to force y'all will on people.
That's what they need.
That's some A1
no, they don't.
Yes, they do.
I'm not going to force y'all will on me.
That's the problem. You need some of this will.
Man, no, I don't. I'm going to do what the hell I want to. I'm going to eat my
That's
steak.
That's the problem now. So you don't know better.
French fries with that mother sucker if that's what I want, or mashed potatoes or baked potato. I'm going to get me a glass of Kool-Aid and enjoy my shit. Without your interference. That's why nobody like you. See, that's the problem. Y'all want to control people.
Somebody needs to control them.
Some people need to be controlled.
No, they don't, man. People need free will. That's the problem now in California. You going up there with Gavin Newsom, want to control everything.
Steak sauce, a well done steak.
Bro, nobody eats a crap. I don't eat no well done steak. You saying something about a well done steak? I don't eat steak well done.
Yes, you do. You said medium well to well.
I said that medium well. I made a mistake when I said well.
No, you meant it.
Medium well.
That wasn't true.
No, man, it's time to go anyway, man. It's 1 o'clock.
It ain't time to go. It ain't time to go. We could.
Don't run from this.
Don't try to run from this phase.
Don't run from this
phase. I eat my steaks medium to medium well. When I went to France, it depends on where I'm going. If I'm in LA, I can order a medium steak. But when I went to France, I asked them for a medium, and they brought me some shit that looked like it was about to crawl.
You asked them for French fries when you was in France?
Huh?
Did you ask them for French fries when you was in France?
Bro, French fries is not a French thing, actually, bro. I'm gonna tell you, I eat mashed potatoes, baked potato. But if I want to eat French fries, I will. I have had a steak with some good French fries. Have you ever had a good steak, a good Wagyu steak with some home peeled potatoes? Boy, I know how to cook.
Wagyu, well done.
No, I don't. Medium well to medium, medium to medium well.
You ain't supposed to be nothing. No.
Shout out to
medium well is not well done. Well done is well done. A medium well is medium well. Y'all just trying to just enforce stuff on people. You know what? I'm not the sheep. Y'all not gonna tell me what to do. I'm gonna do what I'm eating my food how I want to. My blood pressure is 110/87. I'm gonna eat what the hell I want to and do what I want to.
Still, let me ask you a question. So when was it a moment? Like when you listen to the album, when you realize, yo, this man doing some shit right now. Like he cooking up right now.
Who is that?
Like what moment of the album was it the start of the album? Was it a couple songs in when you realized you were listening to something special at the time?
Man, you know what, dog? It kind of started off from the beginning of the album. Kind of from the beginning, dog. And you know what? It was a couple of songs. Like I'm gonna tell you, I like the Luther record. I love the Luther record on there, right? What I like about the album, man, is it got a continuity to it, man. Everything on there is good. Now, there's certain songs I like better than others, But it's a great album, dog.
Mm-hmm.
The first motherfucking
First
song.
time from the first song.
I'm gonna be real
And I
with
knew
you.
that was the last song that they probably was looking for.
Yeah.
When I heard Whacked Out Murals, though, I was like, this shit is genius, dog. And it just is. You know what I pictured when I heard Whacked Out Murals? What's that bridge in LAX that you go over? You know that little bridge when you're going downtown?
Yeah.
I picture that whole scene when I hear Whacked Out Murals. And it's just that dope, bro. It's a really, it's Dot's greatest work, dog.
Shout out to
on the way by y'all saying this.
Shout out to Kelvin. So this is best because it's Final Evolution. GNX is a culmination of Section 80, Good Kid, Mad City, To Pimp a Butterfly, etc. No, it's not because of the Final Evolution, because I'm not saying this is still going to be his best album he ever make. He still may make a better album than this. This is the best album he's ever made because it's the culmination of his knowledge of how to do things. That's how he was able to make it. It actually just worked out.
Man, I'm gonna tell you something.
He actually has all the tools and everything, the knowledge now, and he's also claimed his life. You know what I mean? He's claimed his life in his rightful place as who he is. He understands how to be it with still being himself. To me, there were times where Dot felt like, or I think, I never asked him, I asked him, but I felt like he thought being a Pyru meant you had to be something else, or being from Compton sometimes mean you have to be something else. It's not. Like Snoop understood it. Ice-T understood it. Being a Crip is whatever you decide it is. Long as you don't.
You said Ice Cube? You said Ice Cube?
Ice-T and Snoop.
Oh, you just said Cube in there too, I think. You said Cube.
Ice-T and Snoop. Ice-T and Snoop, if I said that. They told you what being a Crip can be. Like, you can define it the way you want. Long as you don't just do no booth shit. That's it. That's it. So I think where he's at gave him the ability to make the best album he's ever made, right? But him still doing it is just him doing it. It came together that way.
I think
like every hook, to me, like the nuances as a professional and somebody that's really in love with this shit and study it, I can hear on different songs where it sound rushed, like Rich Spear, where the hook kind of is a little funny, and I could tell, like, and I figured out why. I think it's all about projecting, versus this album where everything is in pocket, like the Luther song. Everything is in pocket, bro, because he's accepted who he is, what he means to the game, and he decided, I'm here to do it. I think the first two albums, like, I think the first album, it was free. And that's why you got Good Kid, Mad City. He was free on the first album. That was the culmination of all his work coming together, all his experience, being on tours, everything we went through to get to this point. So you got the freest version. I think To Pimp a Butterfly, he might have thought too much. Like, I think he was chasing a level of sophistication that is naturally in him because he's a thought leader, but as you can hear it in the music. And it's something that I only want to play twice or three times. Because it is of that type of level of where you have to kind of pursue what's going on. Like, it's a bunch of shit running around on the records, right? Then to Untitled, which was a collection of his work, to Damn, where he started, to me, figuring out sonics.
Yeah.
That was a big argument of him, you know, making an album. Don't make this shit that you've been making, make it sound like Humble. You know, make the sonics fit Humble. And I think he came to an arrival with Damn on sonics, but it didn't have the story element that he had in the first one.
Why do we float over that Untitled album though?
Because he's that nigga. That nigga dope. That little nigga dope. That little nigga get busy. I ain't gonna front on him.
He ain't put out no trash albums, dog. Everything he put out is stellar.
And then you have the Black Panther joint, which is for a film. So there's certain records we would never play. Like, he has to make the biggest records for the audience, right? And then during the pandemic, we get Mr. Morale, to me, which sounds, that shit sound like cat scratching paper a lot of times to me. You know what I mean? Where it's like I could tell he was going through therapy. He was trying to figure out who he was as a person. So, like, he had just went through a lot of shit with the success of Damn. You know, maybe he messing with more girls. You know, he's starting to see, like, being a star. And I think he didn't quite know if he wanted to do it. You know what I mean? And then I think Mr. Morale showed you that. It was like, yeah, I don't know. These streets look crazy to me right now. He even had criticism about culture. I'm like, that's not true.
Yeah.
Like, that's not how we feel about
like
things.
that right there. So
I think this is his most honest album too. Like the stuff he said about Black Hippie, like when he said Black Hippie didn't work because of him.
Yeah.
It was kind of like one of the moments, man, where I think he was just letting the other stuff. I think this is his most honest album. I think that's what hip hop is at its best, is honest.
So somebody had broke down. Yeah, broke down one time that that each one of Kendrick albums was a form of like publication or whatever the way they said. They said like the first album was a movie, the second album was was poetry, was a poem, the third album was like a magazine, like a magazine publication, and Mr. Morale supposed to be like a play, like that. What you think this album is supposed to be?
I don't even understand that thought. Whoever those people be,
it was a dope breakdown.
Yeah,
bro.
they be looking into some shit.
It is what it was though. It is what it was though.
Shout out to Mark Gear. Thank you for the $10, man. We eating good today. We gonna actually get steaks. If we not buying one still shit because he wanted well or medium well, so we not.
I didn't say, man, y'all don't know, man. I'm ignoring y'all. I can't hear you. I can't hear you. I eat my steaks.
Mark Gear, thank you
for the $10.
Shout out to Mark Gear for the $10. I'll listen later, but just want to contribute to the celebration, and that's what it is, man.
Hey, is that the homie Mark that's on Twitter?
Yes, Mark on Twitter.
Shout out to Mark, man. Shout out to Mark.
Clip Wilson, thank you, G. People don't understand what quality food is. Still is one of those people.
Point me in
the
quality.
Dude, I've eaten in the finest restaurants around the world. I eat my steaks medium to medium well. That's my preference. If you want to throw your steak on the ground and step on it, you can. It's yours. You paying for it. Eat like you want. I eat my steaks how I want to. I've dined in the finest establishments around the world, and I myself am a stellar chef myself. I'm a real chef.
You're a real chef?
Hell yeah, I know how to cook like a mother sucker.
Bella Mac still over there eating well done steak, laughing out loud.
No,
yes,
I don't. I've never had a well done line. Like you tell tales. You're going
still
to hell for
crashed out if his carrots.
I do not eat well done. I do not eat well done. I do not.
Nick said you'll crash out if your carrots touch your potatoes, girl.
No, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't crash out. I actually mix a little bit of my carrots and peas with my mashed potatoes. Tastes very good. Yeah. And I eat my steaks eggs. I like a good egg steak. I've had Wagyu over in Japan. I've actually been in Tokyo eating the best steak in the world. Stuff has touched my palate that a lot of people never get to taste. That ain't me bragging. That's just me flexing. I know how to eat steak.
No, he don't. Frank Hernandez, shout out to my brother Frank. That titled alone whacked out murals. That's an important point too. Spelling it with two C's, Compton Crip.
Yeah.
That's how we spell like, dang man, you don't put the K behind the C. So to spell it two C's and being that he's like from the Piru side of town, that was brilliant.
Fire.
Yeah. Fire. And again, man, like the cultural relevance of this album, as I keep digging for it, I'm sure it's gonna be special. Shout out to DJ Draysky for $5. Man, we appreciate that, brother. We in good. We will not get still any steak with this money. I promise you, we will not let him disrespect the steak again in life.
Give him some meatloaf.
I'm gonna steal it and go buy a bunch of medium well steaks and laugh.
Name brand. This album got a Coolio Gangsta's Paradise feel. Crucial for LA. That's it is true.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah.
It does. It really does. Shout out to Kiwi. What's happening, Kiwi? Dot lost his mind on this album and kept it all the way LA. Crazy thing is, I don't think he's done. $5. People keep saying that.
I don't think he's done.
They keep saying he got another album. Man, I hope he put out as much music as y'all want from him. I want him to supply y'all with so much of this. Where he's at right now, I think is a phenomenal space for a talent in hip hop. I think he can deliver a lot of incredible music, but that's up to him. I think y'all have to appreciate the work that these artists are putting out and keep it moving. You can't think it's always going to happen. You know what I mean? Like you may not get another one. Like people got other parts of the life that they want to live. Shout out to Kelvin. With the context, I can't disagree. His artistry clicked in being true to who he is and serving his purpose as one of the biggest in the game. Totally agree. Shout out to Amber Walls. I think he sounds very confident, comfortable, and manly on this album. Like he's truly reached his knowledge of self. I agree, Amber. That's what I was saying. I think again with Mr. Morale, he was trying to find himself. I think he had went through a different journey because of the success of Damn and Damn and the film soundtrack, things changed in his life. Like way more than Good Kid, Mad City. While Good Kid, Mad City were successful in platinum albums and To Pimp a Butterfly, I remember seeing Dot in Cleveland in 2015 doing the House of Blues. So this is him after having a platinum or double platinum album, right? And Good Kid, Mad City, and him having a successful run, which I think at that time it was platinum, To Pimp a Butterfly, and he's at the House of Blues on 2 platinum albums. He's at the House of Blues in Cleveland. And I'm like this is where like Dom Kennedy.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he, even though he was successful at that time, based off industry standards and real standards, he wasn't quite the superstar he was ahead, going to be. But I think when Damn and the Black Panther soundtrack happened, took him over the roof. It was over. He really hit superstar status. So then he had to deal with being a star. See, it's different. He's always been able to hide. Now, that point, he had to be a star. So I think it's important to realize him coming out of that and, family, you know what I mean? He got a girl. He's been with this girl since, he's a kid. Mm-hmm. He's been with Whitney this whole time. So I think there were things he was going to have to deal with. It was a life that was going to rush him, and it rushed him. And I think he had to really get himself together, which is why I believe when you listen to Mr. Morale, it sounds like he had went to therapy.
Yeah, definitely.
It sounds like it. Definitely. He was addressing a lot of his issues. Maybe that album was even therapeutic for him because he was dealing with that curve around, coming from that type of success. And then even on Mr. Morale, it didn't sound like he was quite sure this is what he wanted to do anymore.
What, rapping, man?
Yeah. Yes, rap. I think
the music the way he's delivering it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think there was a time where he wasn't quite sure what he wanted to do. Now, again, I didn't ask him. I asked him. I asked him when I seen or talked to him about it. But I think there was a question in his mind. And I don't think he was that inspired until them niggas start fucking with him. And it ain't nothing like a fight to make you remember who you are.
That's a fact.
Ain't nothing like a squabble, Pete, to make you get your juices flowing like, oh my God, I know how to dance.
What he said in one of them, he said one song, he said, you ever squabble and they had to do 3 more after that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think the Drake beef. So shout out to all the Drake fans, all the Parliament, the Parliament. That's what they call the group of owls, the Parliament of owls. Shout out to the Parliament. They always make a joke. Yeah, group of owls.
Oh, shit.
A group of crows is called a murder of crows. A group of owls is called a Parliament.
That's crazy.
Shout out to the Parliament because they always be like, he inspired him. He did. You inspired your death.
Yeah.
That's what happened. You inspired your fucking death. Sometimes you got to shut the fuck up and let sleeping dogs lie. Because if you don't, you will wake up a fucking monster.
Did you hear the Future response?
No, I didn't hear it.
So Future's got the GQ.
I seen that they asked him. Right?
Yeah,
and Future's so fucking goofy. I think he's an idiot savant.
For real.
Yeah, I think he's like a brilliant musician, but everything in life, I've never seen nothing that makes me think Future is
brilliant. He said was just wow. He was like, for those who ain't know,
he was like, oh, they dissed me?
He said, what?
It was a beef?
It was a beef going on? Ooh, what? He said, man, I felt like as if when he said the big 3 is just me, he said, I thought he was throwing a shot at me. I thought he was throwing a shot at me. I ain't think nothing about Drake or nobody like that.
Shout out to Everyday Payday. GKMC was literally titled a short film by Kendrick Lamar. We ain't reaching, glasses is true. I don't think you reaching. I actually know why that's a short film, nigga, because I made a short film that I gave him that inspired that short film, nigga.
What was that from?
Beach Cruiser, the original Beach Cruiser. Okay, yeah. I know that. I know what it is. But I don't know how the other people see it, because they break down dot shit. I don't quite know what's going into it. I'm not asking him. 110 on the GNX tour, shit, maybe we get Deuce to fucking rap.
That'll be fire.
Hey, let me tell you all this. Even though G up here telling lies on me, Glasses are probably about to drop the best album on the West Coast. Dog. Glasses got some cold shit.
What you talking about? You talking about the Beach?
110 shit. Talking about the 110 shit.
The stuff you was telling me the stuff we were talking about last night. What is that going on?
So that's so my goal is to drop a project a week. Okay, so
not a song.
A song a week. But this is what happened, right? So I'm gonna share something with y'all. Shout out to everybody that's an artist in the chat. Shout out to everybody that's a fan of hip hop in the chat, because I believe y'all are here because y'all like hip hop to some real degree. I think what's happening in the record space. Shout out to Dot if he in the chat. You know what I mean? Shout out to everybody who in here.
Shout out Dot, man. Shout out everybody.
I'm proud
Shout
of you, kid.
hip-hop,
like
man.
you did what you supposed to do. You know what I mean? I think the way we make records is based off a 90-year idea. The technology that's called a 7-inch 45, a vinyl. The vinyl became how most everyday people was able to play music at home. Before that, you had to go out to hear music. You had to hear it live, or you had to go somewhere where music was at. The technology that's the 7-inch 45 created the access to music for the everyday Joe at home. That also created the formula that we make records with: hooks, verses, bridges, catchy ideas, right? Because the technology and the cost. Remember, they came out with a 12-inch vinyl at the same time as a 7-inch. But because we were in a depression, shout out to Herbert Hoover, who is the second least experienced when it comes to politician behind our current or our president as far as January 20th. The only person who has less experience than Trump at being a president is Herbert Hoover. Well, ironically, during that time, the United States of America went through the Great Depression. This is 29 and 34. And the industry, they figured out records, and they realized that they needed to make records priced for people. So that's why the 7-inch 45, because of the price. Well, the business, the commerce behind it, you know what I mean, created why we got the record in the first place. It was affordable. And then the technology inspired the catchiness of everything we hear, the creativity. Those were the boundaries. 5 minutes on 3 to 5 minutes on each side of the vinyl. So you had to make records in that space. Before that, you had phonographs. They were 10 to 20 minutes long. So there weren't no catchy. There was no hit records before it, right? So I say that to say that inspired, right, the industry we know. It built the record business. It built radio. It built record companies. It built MTV. The record, that technology and that inspiration behind that technology, what it created art. Well, that's changed. That's changed. Right now with streaming apps, there's new borders, there's new parameters, there's new margins. Not only from a time space, but even from a commercial monetization space. And my goal is to push the boundaries to see what happens creatively when I do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, push it based off these boundaries, based off this commercial opportunity, the economic opportunities, right? And create in that space and see what the records sound like. That's how we got the hit record. So because I figured out a few styles to do it, my goal was to deliver a record every week next year until y'all get the picture of what's the possibilities in the current landscape of hip hop or just record making.
So, all right. So I feel like when you were saying the thing about the records, so I think what they took away was the was making the music an item. You know what I'm saying? So it's like once they made it into streams, it's no longer you physically having that item in your hand like that. So the value of you know what I'm saying, the value of it kind of went down. So what you're trying to do is giving them a record every week. You know what I'm saying? You put a lot of stuff in their pockets. You know what I'm saying? Like it's going. I feel like it's going to work though, for real. Yeah, I feel like it's going to kind of bring it back to being an item. Like, yo, you got the song you put out this week. You got the song. You know what I'm saying? I want to put out next week.
Mathematically is correct. Mm-hmm. How big could it be is different. You know what I mean? Me and Pete work off a lot of mathematics, but mathematically it's going to work out. How big it's going to be is a different conversation. That's about doing the work behind it. But music still should have a value.
Yeah.
But what happened was, because the record labels were running scared away from Napster, they went over to Spotify. But before that, iTunes still had a value for music. An album still cost $12. A single still costs $1. Mm. So there's no reason for companies like Tidal.
Don't give them too much reason
for companies like Spotify. There's no reason for companies to not have an iTunes version of their shit where you can stream your single and people should have to buy the album, right? Because of that. So that's kind of what the revolution is about. It's about making Spotify, Tidal, and different companies see the value in music again. It's not the audience. The audience, again, it was a product they were buying. That never, just because they got rid of the product of a compact disc or a cassette tape or 8-track or vinyl, doesn't change that music still has a value. You were never paying just for the product. You were paying for the hard work of an artist. But because Spotify, Tidal, and all these companies,
they took it away.
The labels gave it to them.
Yeah.
So you don't need the product as much as music should cost what it costs.
Yeah.
But again, we can't go back, right? You could fight the revolution and get them to inspire them to do that. But my job is to look at, as an artist, as a true creative, as a thought leader, is to look at the boundaries, the margins, the parameters of today's time based off the business and create in that space. And I think I'll get more creative records to work. Like there'll be different records. Like the weirdest part is when you make music. I stayed up to 4:00 last night working on this idea I've been telling Still about. I'm going back and forth with Still. I keep calling him. It's 2, 3, 4 in the morning. I'm coming up with this idea, and I finally got it finished. And I know it's special because I
allowed. Y'all hear this? Let me talk about it, bro. When y'all hear this, it's probably gonna be the dopest thing ever done in hip hop. And I'm not bragging. Y'all ain't never heard me talk. I love Glass's music. I mess with his music, but he's about to come out with something that's gonna be revolutionary, and y'all gonna trip out on it. Well, just watch.
I heard it wasn't crippy enough.
No, it ain't got. It's crazy, man. It's just dope. It's brilliant.
Yeah. But again,
he put a post up yesterday.
But again is rooted, right? It's rooted in the boundaries of streaming apps. What's the boundaries? What's the margins? What's available here? What the time is? Not based off of 90 years ago, but what's really possible. And I'm pushing to figure out what's possible. And that's what every artist should be doing. Not creating from a 90-year-old idea, because that idea is, we don't even have the environment for the idea. It's hard to get on radio. Even ways to support that is not available. There are no more end caps at the CD store to carry a vinyl. They had to make them for Taylor Swift. They don't even have the things available that actually were created because of this. They don't even have MTV no more.
No.
So why are we not pushing YouTube to its boundaries? Why are we doing what MTV created for us 40 years ago versus pushing it to its boundaries?
It's time for all this stuff to change.
More boundaries. And a music video is not a push on its boundaries. We can push YouTube to the brink.
Live streaming.
Yeah.
So I'm going to tell you this. You know how I feel about YouTube. I think YouTube is definitely a useful tool, and it's not going nowhere, right?
Yeah.
But I do think it's time for people to get their own platforms.
Yeah.
I think that's the evolution of it, because I'm going to tell you, man, when I first started doing YouTube, you can make really good money on there. But I always knew it was kind of a ruse. I never wanted to depend on that solely, right? And I always thought people were very dumb for building a whole business model on a platform that somebody else owned. I said, you use it and build it up. And I think once you build it up to a certain level, bro, you have to start kind of building your own thing, because I'm going to tell you something I learned with MySpace. Nothing lasts forever. It may evolve. Like YouTube is going to be here for things, but I think YouTube is setting itself up to become an OTT site, to show movies and other content, right? It's already kind of leveraging itself to become a music and movie thing, right? And I think with that being said, I remember when MySpace was looked at as the biggest thing on the planet, right? And I remember these people I was working with went out and spent $10,000 on my MySpace page, man, and did all this and that, and I had a lot of followers on there, and the shit was gone. You woke up one day, all that stuff I paid that money for was gone. And I said from that point on, I would never build my business on a platform that I don't have no ownership in.
Shout out to David Jones. I wonder how morale comes out if not for COVID. Brought the world to a standstill and had us stuck in our thoughts. I think the only reason it got the reception it got is because of COVID. I think if that shit come out and COVID is not happening, that shit is a problem. It would not work out.
You really don't like that album, man?
It's not. I don't like it, but it's not that. I just think it's exactly what he said.
You don't think it was?
Maybe it's not your brand, bro. I thought that was a good album.
I'm not this. Look,
I think the timing was great though.
It was timing. It was the perfect time when you were stuck with yourself in the house and thought. So he nailed it still.
Yeah.
I just never was stuck in the house. I was still going to do what I was going to do at the risk of my life during COVID, because I would rather live the life I want to live and die than just stay alive and live around the parameters.
He was walking around here without no mask on. I was like, this dude is crazy. Glasses caught COVID like 9 times.
Me too. It was great. Cured a years-long chronic sinus problem.
I ain't cured COVID.
I'd rather die than have to live based off of these circumstances. Like, I couldn't have been no slave. I wouldn't have been good at it, bro. It's not going to work out for me. Shout out to Name Brand. DJ Head said glasses is one of the reasons he moved the way he do. That's true. I showed Head is my little bro, and I showed him what my oldest homie showed me. That made sense.
Have you spoken to him about the album yet?
No, I ain't talked to him. We was together listening to the Snoop Dogg album.
Okay.
I ran into him and Silas at
Did you have any hint that this album was coming out today?
No, zero.
Right. No.
I hit him Wednesday because the whole idea we were supposed to talk about on this podcast is how the party dying affected West Coast hip hop. And then what my interpretation of what Kendrick meant about how we were partying now. That's the problem. It's not the party itself, how people got to partying. I thought there were complaints about people doing drugs. I thought the complaints were, the puff parties where men are sleeping with men. I thought there were some complaints about the current state of the party where hip hop has really allowed the party to go. And it's about watching that party die and recreating the party. Yeah. But again, so when I texted him, he didn't hit me back. And I didn't think nothing of it. I'm thinking he running around, being Kendrick, whatever the hell he got going on. I'm like, well, if I'll get him on the stream, eventually we'll have a dope conversation. Yeah. It's not, I don't have a lot of conversations that I don't want to do a podcast with Kendrick. No. I never asked Dot, hey, I want you to be on because it'll just really be a Glasses and Kendrick conversation about life. That's cool, but I don't want that for no ceilings listeners. And I'm not trying to get the props of, having him on the pod.
Interview with him and shit.
When I have a great topic like this idea, that's why I reached out. Hey, I got this dope idea. I wanted to talk about how we used to have to try to break our music in the clubs. Him making Bitch I Do This and trying to make party records because you had to get it in the club. And that's what I wanted to bring him on the live stream for. You feel me? I wanted to bring him for that. I finally had a dope topic and he didn't hit me back. So I didn't think nothing. I was like, all right, well,
when that final mix
I'll do it. You know what I mean? Yeah. He over there mixing that shit. He over there working on that shit. And sure as shit, he hit me today, like laughing, like, yeah. I'm like, yeah.
Right?
Feel me? So I wouldn't want to talk to him about this album. I'm not an interviewer. Yeah. I'm not an interviewer.
Your homie too, though.
Yeah.
So
and that's my man.
Like, what I want to talk to Glasses. You know what I want to talk to Dot about? And this is super petty. I left a pair of glasses over at the studio one time when I was over there at TDE, right? When we was going through this crazy ass phase where we was wearing $1,000 sunglasses and dumb shit like that.
Yeah.
And I left my glasses over there, dog. And I went back to get them like a day later and they was gone. Dot and them had went on tour with the game at the time, right? They came back. I see Dot wearing my glasses, man. They all scratched up. I told him, I said, you can have them. Yeah, he just had them all scratched up, dog.
If you in the chat, Doc, get this nigga some glasses, man, please. So I don't want to hear this, though, boy.
No, he ain't got to give me no glasses. What I wish I'd have did, I wish I'd have kept them glasses. I'd have been bragging on them. I'd have had them set up on the wall somewhere like, yeah, Dot fucked those glasses up.
Shout out to Sharice. We still cooking. We passed 2,000 people on No Ceilings Live, the lunch hour. So we having one of those days. It's a celebration.
We got thumbs up there?
We got thumbs. I don't even know how many thumbs. Still had to tell me that. We got more thumbs. No Ceilings Live, the lunch hour. We still cooking. We ain't running. We stand right here. We cooking.
Oh, we've had over on the live so far. We've had over 3,000 people, dog. I'm looking at the back end stuff now.
So put your if you at work, if you back at your desk, I know it's 30 minutes past the time. Put your AirPods in. We're gonna keep cooking.
Still going.
I'm gonna tell y'all what I want y'all to do with all these people on there. Gee, do you understand if all these people went right now and subscribed to No Ceilings and left a comment, like left a star rating, the comment and stuff, we could go to #1. Let's push No Ceilings, the audio podcast, to #1 today. If everybody go over to Apple right now, find No Ceilings podcast, subscribe to it, and leave a comment. Even if you go in there and say F still.
Still.
Leave a comment.
I know how you can get them to do it.
I want to put up a contest with a gift card prize. Everyone go in and comment their best insults about me. And winner,
Still, we got to
reward
up right now, and we say, yo, if we get to this many, you know what I'm saying, you will try a medium rare steak.
At least a medium.
I've tried a medium rare steak, dog. I don't like it.
A medium rare steak.
I don't like the consistency of it.
If we get to one number still, would you do it? What number we got to get to?
Blue rare. Fuck medium rare. We're doing blue rare.
That's crazy.
No, I ain't doing that. No.
I'm just saying medium.
Right there. We ain't doing that right there, bro.
I've had medium a whole bunch of times. Yes, I have.
You're lying.
See, I've had that. I'm too refined.
You referenced it as blood. You never had medium.
Blood.
See, I've had medium before. I've had
You
rare before.
passed
I
out
don't
if
like
you
it. I don't like the
take
consistency.
your
It tastes
table
too squishy.
medium.
It tastes too squishy. It don't taste like steak's supposed to be cooked that way. It don't
Shout out
taste
to my little bro K-Boy, GNX Classic. I'm not mad at it, K-Boy. That
Classic.
motherfucker is good. But that's K-Boy. That's his boy. So
He
he's
from out here
supposed to
too?
go
He
on.
from out here from the West?
K-Boy is a young legend in these streets.
I gotta call over to the town. I'm gonna find out what the other side thinking about it. I'm saying because I got y'all right now. Y'all telling me how y'all feel about it, and we all know what the feel of the album is. I want to see what the people in the town. I'm gonna get some calls.
Trap, let me ask you this: when New York cats listen to hip hop, is they sitting on their stoop somewhere with the car door open and listening to it through the car? It's going, yo, son, that's the shit, son.
Here we go.
Is that how they do it? I'm just asking, man, because I want the hip hop experience in New York.
Y'all was up on here. God bless. You know what I'm saying? Man, Lord be pleasing with Twan Mac. You know what I'm saying? Y'all was going there.
Still ain't never dealt with that.
I never dealt with that still. And still, we ain't got to do it right now. Just be happy right now. You got this West Coast album out right now. Glasses over here calling it the best album ever created out the West. You know what I'm saying?
I didn't say that.
I ain't being disrespectful.
You might as well say
No.
When y'all listen, when y'all listen, do y'all sit in the stoop?
Huh?
When y'all listen to hip hop, do y'all sit in the stoop at a barbershop and just really analyze every lyric and be like, yo, son, that wasn't tight, son?
This is how they think in New York. This is my problem when people do that. They really think y'all just be out there like writing down the lyrics and analyzing them on the corner.
In front of fire cans.
Exactly.
And rubbing our hands.
Yeah, what I think, you know what I picture in New York? I picture them by a stoop with a 10, with a band of fire, niggas standing around with a 40 and some Tim's on. Yo, son, that shit ain't tight, son. It ain't tight, son.
Why you saying son like that for, man? What's up with y'all?
Inside, looking outside.
This is how people think. It reminds me because of how Lex think the West Coast is.
That's a fact. That is a fact. Nah,
well, the East Coast, they think yes, it's out here prep walking.
He probably in the barbershop right now. Still, he probably in the barbershop right now, running it back. You know what I'm saying? Listening to it. You know what I'm saying? Giving their opinion on it. I mean, like, believe it or not, though, we don't hate the West. Like, y'all swear to God, we hate the West. We got some type of hatred for the West because y'all killed Biggie, because y'all killed Pop Smoke, because y'all.
None of us did that.
I mean, none of us did that.
Got left out here.
They just died.
They
just died out
They
here.
got left out here. Though.
I mean, everybody died out here.
I'll tell you, Trap, I'm a hip hop. I love hip hop, dog. I love East Coast rap, West Coast rap, Midwest rap, down South rap. But if there is this certain perception of the East Coast, man, that y'all probably just be out there, man, just listening to the lyrics, man, and just frown up. That's not real hip hop, son. It's not real hip hop.
And this is why he built his career trying to over rap songs.
You talking about Snoop?
Yeah, still.
Oh, still.
I never
Still
tried
built
to
his career over rapping songs, right? Margin to margin and shit. I'm like, bro, you're
I actually prefer Southern hip hop, to be honest with you. I love Southern hip hop over everything.
He loves New York hip hop. He's telling me.
I love New York hip hop too. New York hip hop. I'm gonna tell you what my favorite stuff is. I'm a big MF Doom fan.
No, he's not.
I guess I am a big MF Doom fan. I wish I could get G on MF Doom.
Not a big MF Doom.
I just can't have them conversations.
MF Doom album still?
Huh?
What's your favorite MF Doom album?
I like MF Doom songs. Gazillionaire is my favorite MF Doom song.
Okay.
He said, "What's your favorite MF Doom album?"
Probably the one with Danger Mouse.
I don't even know the name of the album. It's not his favorite.
The first one. I don't. Gee, it be certain West Coast. You know how much music I've heard over my life.
I wouldn't say somebody's my favorite, and I don't know the album.
Yeah, right.
No,
my
I don't.
favorite
There's certain
album is
Scarface songs I don't remember sometimes, though.
yeah, but I know that if I'm saying Scarface is my favorite, I'm gonna be like, May. Now you finna look
I
it
said
up.
I didn't say MF Doom was
Who
my
was your
favorite.
friend?
I'm like,
Who was your friend?
G, can I talk? Can I talk? You
Now he
know,
looking it up.
you know what G's strategy is, Trap? He asks you a question, then he overtalk you and don't let you get your answer off.
I asked you the question.
No, hold on. I'm trying. Let me answer.
Shout out
Trap.
to Juice Shamir. It's called Danger Doom.
Danger Doom. Is it better than Mad Villain? You feel like?
He never even heard Mad Villain.
I did hear Mad Villain.
Still is not really a fan of MF Doom like that. He
like
How
MF Doom.
you gonna tell me? I just had this A&R on the show because of him. You know what G got a horrible habit of doing? I wish he would start doing it. He tells people how they feel. When you feel like this or you don't know this, because he's a narcissist.
He's your therapist.
He's a narcissist because he knows everything. He knows
His
all.
favorite artist. He didn't know the
I didn't say
name.
hey, Trap, did I say he was my favorite artist?
And one
Did
of
I
my
say he was my favorite artist? I said I like. He
artists
asked me about New York hip hop.
Hold on. Listen to what he said. Say it again.
Said one of my favorite artists out of New York is MF Doom.
And what did he
I
ask?
thought you were asking if you know I really like or something.
And he named his
tell you.
he named his song.
He said I like songs.
I
I don't
said,
like
and
the
you,
album.
and you asked him what song.
No,
like
I'm gonna tell you like this. I like the Scarface one.
Now he
I
looked it
like
up, so now he's finna
Who
start
was
running
your
them up
friend?
like he
Who
knows.
was
No,
your
I don't know. I
I'm
know.
watching you look
Man,
him up. You looking him up?
Do you have my phone number? Because Glass is getting all in our business. I want to talk a discussion with you. Invite, give me your phone number, dog. I don't want to talk with
I
Glass.
will send you my number, man. We could chop it up. We could chop it
Yeah,
up.
we can chop it up, dog. Because I'm Glass is a hater.
on
I love Glass, but Glass is a hater, y'all.
What's the example? I want to hear.
You know what I told him?
Yeah.
And Trap, you know what I told him? I said, I'm going to come back today, dog. Because I'm going to come back because the people miss me. You see what we on did? We on Pro Records today, dog.
You did. They missed you. You showed up on
See
time?
what we did, dog. We breaking records today because Big Daddy came back.
Still.
You know, I ain't gonna let you lay that down. Because I talk shit. I said, I'm going to come back this Friday. I said, I'm being there Friday, dog.
Yeah, they missed you, man.
Name brand still is a troll. Exactly.
Super.
He's got he had his troll smirk going on too, right? When that popped up,
Exactly.
you just see kind of gets that the corners kind of
What's
creep up a
my
little bit.
favorite artist? What's your favorite album? Well, I like this song. Nigga, that is not your favorite artist.
No, I don't, man. I'm gonna tell you. I'm trying to remember the first one. What was the first one he had? Operation Doomsday.
You just been looking it up in your phone still.
I'm not looking nothing up in my damn phone, dog. Like I don't have to do that, dog. I will admit.
Rick Ross is my favorite artist.
What's your favorite album?
I love Triller. I love. There's just so many I named.
Triller was actually Triller was probably his best album. He asked me what my favorite artist in New York was. I said, I like
rap,
I'm gonna tell you,
Scarface.
my favorite artist out of New York, dog, is probably
all-time
Raekwon the Chef. To be honest with you, my favorite artist out of New York is Raekwon.
Watch how this is done. Scarface is my favorite album of all time. My favorite artist of all time.
What's your
That's
favorite album?
bullshit, dog. He ain't asked you what your favorite stuff. I can name all Scarface.
I like
can name all
Maze.
his albums, do this
I
and
like
that. He asked me
Untouchable.
what I like, dog, and I told him.
I like
I
The
said, I like
Meredith.
him too.
Name more. Without Google, too.
I didn't even have to pull up my phone and Google.
No Google, nothing.
Snoop Dogg is in my top 5.
What's your favorite album?
Blue Carpet Treatment.
Okay.
Right?
Mainstream
Last Bill,
too.
No Limit, Top Dog. Fantastic albums. See how that's done still?
Not a song.
Kanye West. I love College Dropout. You know my favorite album out of Kanye is Ye.
Yeah, I know. I can't
It's
believe
called
that one.
Ye.
I can't believe that one right there.
See, I just did that still. I didn't have to Google it. I didn't have to name one
I'm
song.
not Googling shit, dog. Gee, I'm gonna tell you something, dog. I've listened to way more. I've probably consumed way more music than you. It's a lot of shit that I don't remember, dog.
So being that Doom is your favorite artist out of New York.
I didn't say he was. I said he's one of my favorites. I like him. I just said Raekwon was.
You know who I really like?
Who was before he was MF Doom? Who was he down with?
He was in the group with his brother. They were signed to what's the name in them? Because Pete Rock and not Pete Rock, but Professor Pete Nice and them found them. What was the name of that group?
Third Base.
Not Third Base discovered them, and he was in the group with his brother. His brother died in a car accident.
You read that?
I can't remember the name of the group, dog, but they had a song.
I read that too.
It was on Gas Face. They made their premiere on Gas Face.
I read that too. Still,
yeah.
I didn't have to read it, dog.
A Doom song.
I didn't have to read it. So I'm going.
One Doom song
right now. I'll see y'all later, dog. Cause you just doing some bullshit now, man. I'm going.
Boom is
Don't leave still. Don't leave. Don't leave still.
I'm telling how the fuck am I gonna read the shit that quick, dog? I don't remember the name of the album. I know he's with his brother died. MF Doom stopped doing music for like 2 years after that, dog. And he was doing all this shit in the thing, and that's when he started wearing the mask. And I thought that was dope. Dog, you didn't have to read shit. All this shit, Doom don't have. I'm gone, dog.
Why you leaving still?
Still. If you close out, then this is gonna fuck up the whole upload.
I'm not gonna close out. I can leave.
Oh, okay. Well, then in that case, do what we gotta do. I just didn't want you to screw up the upload.
No, I'm not. I'll see y'all later, man.
Why you leaving?
Because you getting on my nerves, dog. I'm telling you some shit. I don't have to go back and look at this stuff. This stuff I know. This is stuff I know about the man. I made it.
Shout out to D. Taylor. And I told you months ago, still be sabotaging your show.
Who said that shit?
Shout out to Drew Shamir. Still, don't leave, man.
Don't leave, still.
Shout out to David Wikipedia, motherfucker, it is.
Wikipedia is your friend.
I don't have no fucking Wikipedia right now. I'm telling you, so I'm just like this other thing. You know I can't see. I'm just over here. Okay, let me quickly get
Shout out to Adrian Stick-Witted Smith. Big up still. Shout out to Squishy. Still wait, we got questions for you.
Nah, still had to, get online and make like his steaks and catch up.
I like Method Man too. I don't know every Method Man don't put out, but I like his shit.
You didn't even know one method. You didn't even know one dude.
Question of a day though. Still,
I did. I told him Operation Doomsday. What more do you want me to say? I don't know his whole discography.
Still, is Method Man to Cal album? Is that a classic album?
To Cal, I think it's one of Method Man's. I think you know what? I like Method Man. I think To Cal was a good album. My favorite song on there was the one, the where he had like the army marching, like the zoom zoom, boom boom. With like the army marching behind it, you know what I'm talking about?
I know something. I know the name of the song.
I think To Cal is a classic. I think that intro when we first stepped on the scene, niggas was petrified.
Yeah.
And I think that was RZA's sister that was singing that. I thought that beat was dope, dog. I think out the clan, though, dog, I think Raekwon had the best album, dog. I think Glaciers Ice Cream was the best album.
Shout out to Bella Mac. What is still signed? Laughing my ass off. He get mad quick. Must be a cancer. That nigga's a Gemini.
Oh, Gemini. Yeah.
That nigga's like my mama.
So in a 12-month period, RZA produced 5 albums. So it was To Cal, Purple Tape, Return to 36 Chambers, Liquid Swords. What was the 5th?
Shout out to Eastside K-Boy. Still never listened to the whole To Cal album. That's probably true.
Man, y'all motherfuckers full of shit. Y'all don't know what I listened to. K-Boy was like 5 when that shit came out. So
Shout out to Nick. OG blood sugar levels dropping.
I forgot what the 5th one was.
Well, you gotta remember,
chill out with
too. I thought the original version of All I Need was whack. The smartest thing they did was go to Puffy to get that remix.
Shout out to Squishy. Yeah. G, don't you got a birthday coming up just like you? My birthday, December 10th. Yep, it's coming up. It's going down.
Your birthday, December 10th?
Yes, sir.
My birthday on Monday, man. 25th.
Oh, happy C-Day, Brody. Yeah, my man. Shout out. I'm a sass. Shout out to the public. What's up, G Malone? You know it's kind of hard for those East Coast dudes to catch a full ear. Most consistent brothers is 50 Cent and DMX from. Oh yeah, I'm not mad at that. Like DMX, we just had a really dope conversation.
That was a crazy conversation.
Yeah, that was a really different conversation. Like what DMX was able to do to hip hop. It might have been one of the greatest top 3. It's probably top 3 hip hop impacts I ever saw in my life. You know what I mean? That I can
put it over 50.
Yeah, I put it over 50.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so it had to be Snoop Dogg, 50, and DMX?
It's those 3. Got to be those 3 in my mind.
Yeah.
Going back to the Wu-Tang, you think RZA probably the greatest producer, one of the greatest producers ever out of New York? Because what he did was crazy, bro. And you gotta remember, dog, the Uncontrolled Substances, that never came out, did it?
I give RZA being one of the greatest producers out of New York, definitely for sure. Like what he did as far as with the soul samples and stuff like that, and the drums they used, like RZA crazy. We was talking about the other day. We said RZA must have had a crazy plumbing problem because he had 2 floods when he lost beats on.
Yeah,
he had 2 floods, man.
Life in the
crazy shit.
Yeah.
RZA is probably the greatest producer ever out of hip hop. I mean, out of New York.
And he had to go do them albums over again. Just think he had to go do Cal over again.
Stats pound for pound, stats pound for pound,
stats
pound for pound. RZA is for sure the greatest.
What he was doing though, how he was delivering. Like I was saying, like that '95 year, he was putting out albums. We was doing all the albums. You know what I'm saying, did the Cal joint, did the Purple Tape.
Pound for pound, RZA is number one. Tony Polk is probably number two. Pound for pound, for real. Now,
stat wise and everything.
Stat wise. Now, if you prefer, obviously, you're gonna start talking about Primo. You know, what I mean, you're gonna start talking about some
I'm not
stuff.
Primo up on it.
But you started talking about a 5-month period. Gee, all them albums RZA came out with, and he came out with albums that turned out to be classic albums.
But not just 5 months, just that whole run. You know what I'm saying? Like pound for pound, RZA is probably the greatest producer ever out of New York. Hip hop.
I'm trying to think right now.
Maybe Larry Smith is up there.
Larry Smith up there. But I mean, like you talking about stat wise, and
it's hard to be RZA stats.
He delivered
man.
so much. He delivered so much.
Let me ask you this, Trev. Do you think RZA was mad when they dropped that Puffy version of All I Need, dog?
No, it made it a bigger record though, and they it made it a bigger.
That shit made Method Man a star, dog. You know what? The only thing about it, dog, I didn't like Cal 2 as much when they came out with the second one. I always thought Method Man sounded better over it. I think he kind of outgrew RZA's beats after a while.
They all did. I think they all did. I think all of them.
Because I didn't like the Iron Man. I didn't really like the Iron Man album. The sample sounded kind of generic. Like when he went to the what's my boy that everybody sampled? The Jazz Cat that everybody sampled. He came with the dun.
Yeah, he talking about white dude.
Yeah, and I don't know why I don't remember dude's name.
Bob James.
Yeah, Bob
James. Yeah. It was just kind of redundant because he used Nautilus like 2 or 3 times, and you could tell RZA kind of started running out of ideas.
Because you know what it's about that when you finally get to that song, and you just understand how beautiful, how many chopped up samples in that song, you want to make a whole album out of that shit.
Nautilus got about 5 jams like that motherfucker.
Shout out to Super Jedi who made a fantastic point. I think the issue with RZA is that his beats kept getting cleaner.
Yeah, probably so. You talked about that yesterday, G, because you know if you listen to Ice Cream, right?
Yeah.
Their vocals was kind of hot and it sounded like they was over the track. It was almost like it was a 2-track, but it sounded good though.
Mm-hmm.
Well, hip hop is all about making nothing out of something.
Exactly.
Yeah, it sounded amazing. It's like it don't sound like none of that shit was mixed, but it sounded good, man. I think Raekwon's album got the benefit of having the dopest beats, though, dog. That Ice Cream beat was crazy.
The beat on that joint was crazy. You ever watched the
what was the one with Nas in there?
Every episode.
Remember how
I watched that shit. That shit was dope.
How you got the who?
How you got that snare on the one song?
Yeah.
He was in the hallway banging on the thing. Yeah. Like it was shit like that. He wasn't doing shit like that later on in his career. He wasn't. You know what
once you start making that coin, again, back to Kendrick, back to Dre. That's what makes Dre such a special producer is, to be able to evolve through multiple eras. Dre had 3 different sounds. He had the initial breakbeat sound, that's the 80s, right, and the early 90s, right, where you could tell it was all Marley Marl, and then you had the G-Funk version of Dre, which lasted a good 3 to 5 years. And then you had this version of Dre that kind of start taking classical music and bringing like an urban appeal to it. That's not an easy thing to do. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think every producer has to do it, but it's dope that Dre was able to do it. But what RZA did, I don't think, Manny Fresh is the only person like outside of Dr. Dre that's compatible. Because remember, Dre didn't really get a chance to produce 3 and 4 and 5 albums in a row with a specific sound.
I'm gonna tell you who came with some ill shit, and I think RZA got one. A lot of people think RZA did it, but what was the disciple nigga that made the Brooklyn Zoo shit?
Mathematics.
Yeah,
mathematics. That Brooklyn Zoo shit was crazy.
Remember, this is the
when I first heard that. I thought, shit.
This is the second produced Snoop Dogg album from Dr. Dre. He's produced other stuff on him in the past, but this is the second produced Snoop Dogg album from Dr. Dre. Remember the second album, 50, Dre produced on it. He didn't produce it. Eminem is probably the person he worked with the most.
Yeah.
You didn't get the second Game album produced by Dr. Dre. You got 2 NWA albums produced by Dr. Dre. right? You got one album until Missionary produced by Snoop. Like it's not like a simple thing versus RZA, where RZA you got multiple albums. He took multiple sides with people.
You know what's easy to forget too, G, when you talking about New York hip hop, is this eras to it. Like I just thought about it. It's like shit, EPMD from New York, dog, and that's like was my shit, dog.
Yeah, but that's why I said I think RZA is by far the greatest out of everybody.
You think he Eric Sermon, dog? Eric Sermon,
not better. Better is subjective, like subjective. Right? For preference.
Number wise,
I'm saying the stats, like breaking artists, classic joints.
Eric Sermon put up some shit, man.
Marley produced. Marley broke
still did EPMD hit like in the Midwest, like disproportionately.
Shout out to everybody.
You know what? I was on the West Coast at the time. EPMD had a big following out here.
Not knocking the Juice Crew, but you know what Wu-Tang is.
Yeah.
Wu-Tang is the one. And it's because
everybody know more of the cast like the Juice Crew. Everybody in there wasn't hitting. Cool G Rap was hitting.
Biz
was hitting. And Big Daddy Kane.
But I'm saying G-Rap. Yeah, but when you look at Wu-Tang, it's just different, man. Like what they were able to do culturally and sonically, dog, is like kind of uncharted. Like it's really crazy when you think about how nasty that dude is with that shit. And he always have all them people that how he's able to make those albums. I mean, that run is crazy. What's that? It's like 10 or 12 albums that's platinum.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy. It was all going. That's what I sit back and think when I see that though. I be thinking like, could it ever be done again though?
Manny Fresh did it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did it with Cash Money.
Cash Money.
Yeah. How many albums he pumped out from until he started working with them like
somewhere like 15 or 20.
And I don't think he had no production help either, did he, G?
Remember all the way to the Carter one.
Yeah.
And G, he had no production help, did he?
He had people in the room that was helping, but he was producing everything. Yeah, he was producing.
He's producing everything because some people had the benefit of getting beats from other people, and they may come in and mix it, dog. I know Eric Sermon, dog.
I don't believe that's true. Like nobody is getting beats from people and coming in and mixing it. Like that's kind of like a lie that's always been said about like a Dre. Like nobody could do what he does. That nigga changes.
I think some people do that. G, I think you do have some situations like you look how Rockweiler is with Eric Sermon. I think Eric Sermon may give him a little input, but I think Rockweiler does his own shit. I think some people just get beats from other niggas, you know? I think they just supervise them because look at this. Like, you know, the big thing with Daz, Dre did this and that. How come your beats don't sound the same than now? I think Dre definitely made his shit sound better.
It's not his shit. Like, just because you hold a camera don't mean you directed a movie.
Well, you give a nigga the basis to an idea, dog. It's definitely an idea.
That don't mean you made a movie because you gave somebody a basis of an idea.
That's where the bullshit start at. You one of them niggas, you can't, if I give a nigga a beat and he had a little bell to it, don't mean he did some hell of a shit to it. No,
you just want to feel like just because you did something means you did it all, and it's way more.
That's what Dre, what he does, his input can't be understated, dog. He makes shit better.
It's not his input.
He makes shit better.
That's like the Quincy Jones thing that people talk about. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a composer. You know what I'm saying? So just
that's what a producer is.
Yeah, it's a composer. So if I get a bunch of musicians for hire to come, you know what I'm saying, pull up right there, you know what I'm saying? You could be playing the key right there, but me being the producer is putting that key right there along with that horn sound right there, along with that drums pattern right there. You know what I'm saying? And I'm producing this record right there. You might be the one that's you know what I'm saying, behind the shit playing it though, but I'm the one that's coming up to the magic and putting the shit all together though.
That's what a producer is.
That's the producer right
Go ahead, Pete.
Answer this.
Could you explain real quick how like the mechanics work of like, I was trying to think of places and times that had a sound where a lot of artists were on that kind of sound, like, but like Cool and Dre in Miami, they weren't really like a thing like Manny Fresh to like in the same sense, you know what I mean? But they were present on a lot of albums. They did a lot of stuff like, but they were all under kind of, that was the new Cash Money, right? With all those different people. Yeah, that Ace to Rick Ross, Khaled, all those people. How does that mechanically play out?
Well, it don't happen for everybody. Like, right? Like Manny Fresh was lucky. Dre is lucky. Remember, Quick didn't really get to produce a bunch of artists. He only produced Sugar Free and Mossberg. He didn't really get to produce.
He didn't do High C or no? He didn't do High C?
No,
I
I
see
see
did his
his
own
own
shit.
stuff.
His own shit. That was actually then Tony A
Gotcha.
helped I see with the early shit.
Yeah, RZA was able to get the whole Wu-Tang. It just worked out that way, and it worked. You know, what I mean, they lost a lot of music. They had even a lot more music than that.
I get on title. I've never seen this happen before.
What's that? Shut it down for you.
Oh, look at it.
Let's see what's going on title. It just, again, like I said, it's not like what Still is doing is just irresponsible.
Well,
Oh
I
my
mean-
God, new Kendrick Lamar, GNX available title. That's tight. That's fire. No,
How's it irresponsible? Hold on. It is some niggas that take credit from other
no,
niggas.
it's not.
Gee, you just can't say that, bro. You can't say that. I'm not saying that's what Dre did, dog, but it's some dudes
It
that
is
do
what
get
you
some other niggas and put their name on it.
No, I'm saying
Dog, we got a big nigga on the West Coast to do that shit right now.
Ooh,
Dog, I'm not about to get in all that. You know who I'm talking about. G, don't do
I
that.
don't know what you're talking about.
You know who I'm talking about. You know there's plenty of niggas out here who be
I have
making
no idea who does that.
What was the boy that got saved, dog? You know that nigga got his whole mustard, got his whole sound from that nigga.
But again, that's not true.
The dude that got saved, dog. You know what's the boy's name that used to mess with you? The Bugsy on the beat.
Yeah.
That ain't mustard, dog.
What do you mean? That's stupid. Of course, there's mustard. Don't be ridiculous.
Dog, that's mustard. So you telling me that it ain't producers that just take other niggas' beats and put their name on it?
I never saw it. Like, the only time it's happened to me was one time in life, and then the producer came and I had to pay the producer $10,000.
Bro, I'm gonna tell you this, dog. I'm not talking about like that instance for niggas stealing.
That's what it is.
Bro, the workload of some of these producers be so heavy, G, they have to bring other people in. And I'm gonna tell you, yeah, they may put their sauce on it, but them beats is coming to them dudes 80, 85, 90% done already, dog.
It's not how it works. It's like, okay, I'm gonna give you the equivalent. It's like playing baseball, right? And you pitch a game in the World Series, and you pitch 6 innings, and somebody else pitched 3 innings, and you talking about the workload is done. It's not.
Bro, you know, you making the wrong comparison, dog. I'm gonna tell you this right here, right? Just like the fact you can say that Daz's beats ain't sound the same since he ain't been with Dre. Dre ain't made no set up here and made no ambitions of a rider just by itself, just conceived out by
He
itself.
don't even have credit
It
on
sounded
that.
different, dog.
He don't
Daz's
have
input,
credit.
just
He don't
like you
even
can't understate Dre's involvement, you can't say that Daz ain't do shit either. You know what I mean?
Daz is the producer of Ambitions of a Rider, not Snoop.
Like Warren G, like you think about Warren G, right? Without Warren G, the Chronic might not be what it was.
I'm not saying there's not people in the room. That's like saying without anybody doing something in an association of holding.
No, but you just saying fuck they input, they can do
No,
shit.
no, that's not what I'm saying. I'm telling you, they didn't produce it because they had an input, and they didn't do most of the work because they did something.
What it becomes a lot of, dog, and that's why I've never been a fan of producing, dog, because what happens is this. There are so many hands involved in certain stuff, bro, to where it becomes, it's always going to be somebody that think they did more. It's always going to be somebody, well, I put this snare in there, and without that snare, it wouldn't have been this, or I beefed this kick up because it's key, or I changed this, I added the 808 right here. It become crazy, dog, after a while.
Yeah, but I just don't know that world you talking about where people is just taking somebody beats and just putting their name on them. I don't know that.
Dog, it happen all the time.
Yeah, I never saw it happen. The only time I told you is the one time where I had to pay the Renegades because somebody said that they made this beat and he put his name on it.
Oh,
Isn't that kind of what's his name's MO?
Who?
Dude, Jesus, damn. Dame Dash used to buy other people's beats for cheap, put his name on them.
I never saw that.
You know who do that too though?
Who?
I seen them dudes down south. What's the dude's name? That little baby and all of was signed to.
Dog, the dude did it to the homie Hit Boy. What was the boy name over there? Interscope. Throw that D's on the bitch. What's the boy's name?
No, he didn't.
Polo the Don did that with him. He had other producers around him, dog.
No, he didn't.
So Hit telling stories.
He didn't. Again, he's not taking a Hit Boy beat and just not doing nothing, putting his name on it. He actually has to do something to the music.
Man, some of them niggas go in there and put twist a few knobs, dog, and they ain't did.
We can't do that.
Put their name on it, dog. Get some
I genuinely don't agree with you.
Niggas go in there. This is what niggas do. They go in there. The beat already got
those producers.
The beat already got the hi-hat dancing on there going.
know what I'm saying? I mean,
and a nigga gonna put a crash in that motherfucker. Oh yeah, now it's finished. I put my name on that motherfucker.
Self had he mentioned that shit on Math shit the other day. When he was on the joint. That Irv was doing that shit. Irv was doing that.
Yeah, like but Irv and Puff are kind of different type of producers.
They're more like executive producer types.
Nothing on the songs though.
Yeah, but if he's directing the traffic and he knows what it's supposed to be, and remember, producing is not holding a camera.
Yeah,
producing is not making a beat. Mm-hmm. That's the hardest part that hip hop seems to not get it correct. Producing is not making a beat.
Well, you know what it is. Some of them niggas should not get no beats from nobody else and just make their own shit there.
Getting the right singer, the right rapper on the song and shit like that.
Producing a record.
Yeah, that's important, dog. But you saying ain't nobody out there just.
I'm telling you, I don't know people. You telling me
for producing that.
Yeah, Kendrick produced on this album.
Yeah, this album. Yeah, I seen that.
I believe what like you said, you're right. You cannot touch an instrument and produce.
So then, what the fuck is you talking? No, I don't know.
Well, what I'm saying is this: what are you just being difficult right now? The thing is, there are people who have. You can't tell me that Dre ain't got 10 different producers over there, dog.
There's a lack of an appropriate adjective.
Because there is too much work to be done. It can't just be one nigga. It's a community effort, bro.
Me neither.
I don't like the reason why I got a ghostwriter because I can't possibly write all this music right now because I'm doing so much stuff and this. Nah, get out of there.
I think Dre has a production team that has been credited consistently at this point.
Well, not early on.
I think early on they was.
And early on, it might not have been his fault, dog. Dre don't handle the business.
Piano played by Scott Storch. You look at the credits.
And the thing is, I don't even knock Dre for that, G, because I'm pretty sure at that time you got other people handling the business that may omit certain stuff, and I don't even know if it's on purpose all the time, bro. I just think
I don't think nobody is producing for Dr. Dre because can't nobody do what Dr. Dre does. Now, could somebody bring an idea to Dr. Dre and Dr. Dre finish it? Yes.
Even Eric Sermon, he worked with Rockwilder and all of them. Rockwilder get his stuff credited to him. Eric Sermon ain't never put his name on somebody else's beat that he didn't do.
Dr. Dre never put his name on nobody else's beat that he didn't do.
You know what, dog? Warren did a lot of shit, but Drake made a lot of shit that Warren brought over there and tightened it up, though. Like Warren G made the original Blood Ghetto Boy.
Yeah, but you keep saying somebody is doing something. I'm telling you, making a beat is not producing a song. You may have an idea for a beat.
You can't discount the beat because CG, what you do, you just discount the beat and make, this nigga ain't did shit.
No, you just overcredit everybody in a way to just try to discredit the person that keeps doing the same thing.
What would the name of that person be? What's happening right now is everyone's named producer. There's executive producers. There's that producers. That producer. That's, I think, most of the problem in this conversation is everyone's got the same title, but that requires a preface to it, and we don't run around using the prefaces.
No, it's not really that. That's not even a problem, Pete, because I do agree that that's the difference, but that's not what's wrong. What's wrong is there's assholes like Steele who just trying to discredit Dr. Dre.
I didn't at one time I didn't discredit Dr. Dre. See, you just put words in my mouth, dog. That's not what I said. That is not what I said. Dre is definitely the greatest of all. Dre is a god. He's a GOAT. I did not say that. I said, but don't sit up here and act like he just in the room doing all that shit by himself.
Nobody never said that.
I think that I really think that from what's still saying, it is times where, all right, you might not be as well known as the other producer is though. So like that beat might be fire, but if you to put this so-called producer name on the beat and say by this person is gonna be more light towards it, and I think that happens a lot.
I don't believe that's true though, neither.
No,
not to no full level. I think it's not impossible. I just don't think that's most likely what happened. Shout out to Unknown Raider Guy Glasses. What's the name of the song you sampled? This DJ by Warren G. I've been looking for it on Apple Music. It's called That Good. That Good featuring Ty Dolla $ign and C Ballin. That Good.
Let's get back to this album though, man. What's like?
I mean, I'm just impressed. I can't wait to get back to it. We've been on this shit right here for so long. It's time to get the fuck off of here.
Okay, yeah.
We've been on this day forever. Shout out to everybody.
We have been on this live for so much extra time. We could be one of Steele's steaks.
We definitely could. It'd just be ready.
Yeah, it'd be done.
It'd just be done.
We were done 30 minutes ago, and now we're Steele's steak.
Shout out to No Ceilings Live, the lunch hour. Click that thumbs up button every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at noon. We will be back here Monday at noon. Make sure you go listen to the new Kendrick Lamar album.
It's just audio, but I ain't gonna say nothing. I got my homeboy on here. Fingers, one of the greatest producers from the West Coast. Fingers, you ain't got to name no names. It's a motherfuckers out
here. You
here.
ain't gonna name no names. Don't get on here and say it.
Absolutely. Glass always act like he ain't never seen that. Oh, I've never seen that before.
I've never saw it.
Oh man, I heard about countless huge records that were purchased beats from unknown producers for hundreds of bucks or something like that, and then maybe they make sprinkle like a different kick or something like that. But some of the biggest hits
you didn't make a point,
have been created that way.
You're not making a point because you got somebody.
Thank you, Fingers. I appreciate you, bro. I'm gonna come over there and fuck with you. I thank you. I love you, Lana.
Yes. I love you too, man.
Bye.
You didn't make a point, still.
I did. I just told you this man got countless albums G under his belt, and he's sitting up here telling you this. This niggas
he
putting
said, I heard stories.
He knows he's not gonna name names, dog. He know personally.
He didn't even say that it was true. He said he heard stories.
He's not gonna do it. You know what? G is one of them people. I've never seen anyone get shot. I've never seen
nobody
get shot. Your ass ain't seen it. You think it ain't happening.
This is my problem with Steel. He always telling me some shit, but he never saw it.
There's a lot of shit I know.
He was never in the room. I'm like, why? Then how do you feel so comfortable passing that information if it ain't true?
I'm telling you what I know.
I want you to admit you was in the room, watch this with me, so we can ask you the question.
He's not gonna come on here and say, yeah, such and such be taking beats he ain't did.
So then at which point did all of y'all just running around and knowing some bullshit happening and you not being out? I bet you if I saw it, I would say it.
You wouldn't say nothing. It ain't none of your business. What would you say?
God, I would. I don't give a fuck about. I ain't trying to maintain no motherfucking and ain't no ambiguity with nobody. I'm not trying to be friends with nobody.
That is not right. I'm going to defend this.
I'm not trying to do none of that.
You gonna give him his credit. I'm a loke. You gonna give him his credit, or you gonna deal with this credit.
I'm gonna give him his credit. Listen, the thing about being a solid nigga, nobody ever said is friends. It's not a friendly road. It's a lonely road. But I'd rather be a real nigga than a whole nigga every day. So if you know some whole shit going on and you scared to say some whole shit going on, you just may be.
Hey, man, I'm telling you, there's a lot of whole shit that go on. It ain't
I never saw it. I never saw it happening with me. I never walked in a room. I done been to Jamie Foxx party, Puff parties, Birdman parties. I never seen nothing. So how do you always see it, but you never was there?
Man, you just going to some whole other stuff now. You right about everything.
I don't know no producers killing nobody.
You know everything.
I don't know nobody.
You know everything that's going on.
I've never seen nobody stealing no music.
You right, Glasses. You right. If it didn't happen, it didn't happen. If you said
call somebody else, Still. Tell him, show him, Still. Call somebody else, man.
I'm done, man. I ain't gonna say nothing. Glasses is right. You know what I'm gonna say on this podcast? Ask Glasses. He is correct. He knows. He's the oracle.
But you ask Google.
Your name ain't Glasses no more. You the fucking oracle. I didn't ask Google shit.
Yes, you did.
No, I didn't. You know what? Y'all should have let me leave 5 minutes ago.
You never told us who did it.
Don't go nowhere, Still.
Who did what?
You never told us who stole the beat.
There's a countless people. I don't gotta sit up here and do that, dog. What is it gonna matter if I say it in this podcast?
At least I would know what you're talking about.
Then people go, gee, you know, dog. Come on.
I don't know. I told you the only time you said that.
You don't know nothing, son.
It ain't my place to say, dog. It ain't my place to say. Everybody out there just doing all this shit by themselves.
What are you saying?
Everybody else gets out here doing this stuff by themselves.
Why are you saying? If it's not your place to say, which man is
telling you what happened. You just want somebody with name names. Well, who did it? You know who did it. It's been plenty of people.
I don't know who did it. That's why I'm asking.
It's a big record that just came out now that the nigga ain't get credit for it. We know he did some shit on there. And he ain't getting no credit. They just gave the other nigga all the credit.
Who?
But that ain't my business, though. I don't
know what you're talking about. I never heard it.
Okay.
You act like I know and I'm a part of the circle. I'm not.
Okay, Oracle.
Obviously, all of the whole
she is like that old lady in the Matrix, the one, the Oracle that just know every damn thing.
I'm not Oracle if I don't know nothing.
Oracle.
You can say the name of the record without saying the names of the people.
If I do that, then everybody go, no, P, I ain't gonna get into all that shit, dog.
You say the name of the song. You ain't gotta say Joe stole it from Stan. Just say the song was blank. There's some conversation behind the song blank.
And listen, no ceilings chat. This is why I be on these dudes, because they will just say anything and will not verify the thought.
It's stuff that I know, G. I don't have to verify nothing. I'm telling you what it is. That should be enough.
No, that's
I'm
not enough.
Name and names of snitching on niggas.
Snitching on niggas, you're not telling the police.
I'm not. It's just not my business, dog. I'm not gonna get up there and doing it, but it does happen.
And why are you saying that in the first place?
You tell me it don't happen. He said the same exact thing I said. Niggas will get a beat. That shit hot. Hold on, let me add this. They add that. Okay, it's done. I'm gonna put my name on the stamp. Next.
That's a lot to add to a beat,
what
though.
What are you talking about?
It's a lot to add to a beat. You know what I'm saying? But still, let me ask you a question, though, still. So, do you think that if a person does that right there, takes credit for somebody else's beat, do you think that is that cool to you? Is that, you know what I'm saying, the business? You know what I'm saying?
It's business to a certain degree, because I'm going to tell you, most of the time, the majority of the time, the person that he's getting that beat right. Somebody can come at you with an idea. If you're completing that, you're producing that record. The other dude may have programmed some shit and, whatever, you producing that record. Now, if you get a record that's done and all you do is go in that motherfucker and add
a hi-hat to it. Then,
I'm going to add a hi-hat to this and just literally.
For ask you that, though, is this, though, right? Like if you feel like somebody did some bullshit, don't you feel like somebody should be called out for the bullshit they did? So, like, meaning, like, if
they should get an attorney. I wouldn't keep letting somebody just take my intellectual property. I'll get an attorney.
Like that. Ain't nothing wrong for you to say, yo, that motherfucker ain't make that beat. So-and-so made that beat.
It's not my job to sit there and be exposed to people.
That's what I would do.
Now, if it happened to one of my homies, like if somebody took his beat, I would be on their ass. We would be on their head. If somebody took G's beat, we would be on their head. If it's somebody outside my camp, I'll tell them, man, get your business together.
Yeah.
It's just like we got a homeboy now that don't wrote platinum records for, well-known, one of the greatest artists of all time. He keep going back, getting $1,000, $1,500, no publishing or nothing. Just keep writing raps.
But he never wrote his own smashes.
But he wrote another nigga smashes though.
So
he ain't get no
again, making a record is a lot different than writing a record.
He had to go with, well, you know what? That record wouldn't be in existence if that nigga didn't get in them words.
That shit though, still. You gotta be able to deliver that shit. You gotta be able to put something on, you know what I'm saying? Other than just that pen.
Well, you know what? That is true, but that dude should write his own stuff then if he don't want to give that man his credit.
No, that's not. What do you mean? That's not. It's not that.
It's purchased now.
He getting paid for a service.
He wouldn't give me no $1,500 and I keep writing.
It's like when Jay Peterman bought Kramer's stories on Seinfeld. They became his stories. Kramer couldn't tell them anymore.
Simple business still.
Man,
I don't know about people. I don't know about people buying records from other producers and not working on them. Again, something that you may consider a hi-hat and kick is nothing, but it really be driving the song. So again, it's like in baseball, right? You might pitch 8 innings and the score is tied. Then Mariano Rivera come in and you get the lead.
I don't know why you keep coming with these baseball analogies, bro. It's people that do it. It ain't nothing else to be discussed. It's what it is.
No, it's not. You actually didn't say who did it. You
it's
just
business.
lied.
I don't have cheat. That's not important. It happens. You told me it don't happen.
I'm telling you, I never known it to happen.
And I just bought a well-known. This man don't seem it happen. We've talked about it multiple times.
You didn't say. Y'all didn't say. He heard the same story you heard.
He's actually been invited, dog. Now, see, it's one thing if you collaborating with somebody. Yeah, y'all both get the sauce. We don't collaborate on shit, G, and we both do what we do. But if somebody gives you a beat that's already done, dog, the thing that's already done, and you just come in that motherfucker,
not already. I don't know
this bell over here, not this cowbell. If you add a cowbell, look, ting, ting to the thing, ting, ting. That was on your only contribution to that record. That record, that's the driving force of this record. It's the reason it's platinum now.
That's just still. You sound like a nigga. This is my problem, right? The thought of it, one, you sound bitter and confused. Two,
I don't sound bitter shit. Nobody stole shit from me. I don't sound shit. You just sound like a nigga that think you know every goddamn thing.
Allow me to
That's
finish.
what you sound like. You sound like a nigga that think you know everything. Mr. Whip.
I don't know everything. This is what I'm telling you.
I know everything. This didn't happen because I didn't see it.
How if I don't know this?
Man, you're the oracle.
How am I the oracle if I don't know this is happening?
See, you know what you are? You are contrarian. If I say something is black, you go say something is white just for the sake of the argument.
No, I'm just asking you, what did you see black? And you mad.
No,
nigga, I seen
like
something
this.
black. I'm like, well, what did you see black?
Contrarian.
How is that a
Contrarian.
contrarian? I'm asking you to verify your point.
Bro, it ain't how we go from a conversation of me having to verify on who really not getting their beats from somebody. I said the niggas' names earlier. Go back and rewind.
No, you didn't say one name earlier.
I did say one thing.
No.
Dog, you know what, man? I'm not gonna get
this
this.
Nigga, this possible nigga, this nigga I might have heard of, and you never said
No,
shit.
dog, I'm not gonna. Man, I said it earlier.
You said why you couldn't say it earlier.
Tell you, I am done. I don't know. You know. You tell us. You know everything. You tell us.
The problem is, if I knew everything, I would know this.
You know everything.
You always know somebody stealing the beat. You know somebody taking it up the rear end, but you never tell us who it is.
I'm telling you, man. It ain't my place to tell you. What was that dude in the cartoon back in the day? People that knew everything. The professor. You go in there, he got the lab. He just answered every question.
I don't know. It was like Peabody or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, that's G. Professor Peabody. That should be your alternate name. Professor Peabody. The nigga that know everything.
How
Professor
if I don't?
Peabody. Professor, tell us today what's going on.
But how if I don't know?
Professor, you know everything, Professor Peabody.
How? I don't know this now.
Professor Peabody.
How? But if I don't know, if I'm asking you to tell me because I don't know, wouldn't that make you Professor Peabody? That you know all this stuff?
This sounds like two guys, but you sound like a congressman and like the head of Department of Homeland Security, but where one doesn't really want to answer the question, the other really doesn't want to ask the question, and they just horse shit back and forth just over and over and over again until the time expires, and then they call the end of the hearing.
Instead of Professor Peabody, Professor G-Body. Professor G-Body. That's your name.
Last I didn't know Tyson was going to get spanked. I had to apologize. I didn't know. Squishy Crutchfield. G, tell Steel to give us one name. They can't beat him up. That is
just
true.
say the song. Just say the song. I got to say
the whole song.
You know that nigga Mustard ain't made all them beats, dog. I don't know why you sit up here pretend like
which beats did he not
I just
make?
said the song. I didn't say the name.
All that, dog.
Which beat did he not make?
If I'm gonna say the name, I ain't gotta say the song. If I'm gonna say the song, I might well say the name. He
okay, which song did Mustard not make?
He cashing some niggas out for beats. He might go and put some shit in them, I know, but he ain't made all that shit by himself.
Nobody did. Quincy Jones didn't make them all, but it's like produced by Quincy Jones. He didn't play. He didn't play this part. Oh, it's different.
Hey, for real. You know what? Let me go move my car, dog. I got to go move my shit now.
We're going to end No Ceilings right here. Hit the thumbs up button. Thank y'all for being here. We back Monday at noon Pacific Standard Time. Click the link in the description. Subscribe to the No Ceilings podcast right now. Apple Podcasts, anywhere you get your podcast. Go over there, leave a comment. Told him Steel told you to with his lying ass.
Stealing
produced by Charlemagne the God, Black Effect Network, and iHeart.
Professor Peabody, Professor G-Body.
If Charlemagne's the executive producer, is he stealing this from some other lower level producer that he's getting it from?
Yeah, I guess he
is. Go to No Ceilings podcast right now and say what up to Professor Peabody. That's G's new name, Professor Peabody. The nigga that know everything.
Sure, except don't know nothing.
Professor Peabody.